and try again.
Stress up on my mind, trying to make it all the time. Stress up on my mind, trying to make it all the time. Take it, press up on my press up, take it all the take it. Stress up on my mind, trying to make it all the time.
Can you say I made the way to come today to say today? Can you say I made the way to come today to say today? Yeah. See, I got a little daughter, a wife too. Feel I'm drowning underwater. My life through, feel I'm walking to the slaughter. Despite you, feel I'm going all the time, trying to make it all the time. Make me wanna get the burner and load up 15 bullets in the chamber. But hold up, I've been working so hard, doing this and doing that. I've been trying to make it right, trying to get it where it's at. I gotta do what I gotta do. Mama, how are you? See, it's true, I've been going through. Tell me what to do, feeling tired all the time, doing this and doing that. I've been working so hard, trying to get this money right. I gotta do what I gotta do. Mama, how are you? See, it's true, I've been going through. Tell me what to do, feeling tired all the time, doing this and doing that. I've been working so hard, trying to get this money right. People always got their hand out to use me. I don't always wanna stand out, but usually people never gon' reciprocate. Excuse me, I don't got that many friends, cause them people gon' change. Now they asking about the president, a douchebag. I'm just seeing that it's evident that who's mad? All these racists and the Klansmen. But I said, if you come up on my lawn, put a bullet in your head.
Stress up on my mind, trying to make it all the time. Stress up on my mind, trying to make it all the time. Take it, press up on my press up, take it all the take it. Stress up on my mind, trying to make it all the time.
I gotta do what I gotta do. Mama, how are you? See, it's true, I've been going through. Tell me what to do, feeling tired all the time, doing this and doing that. I've been working so hard, trying to get this money right. I gotta do what I gotta do. Mama, how are you? See, it's true, I've been going through. Tell me what to do, feeling tired all the time, doing this and doing that. I've been working so hard, trying to get this money right. I gotta do what I gotta do. Mama, how are you? See, it's true, I've been going through. Tell me what to do, feeling tired all the time, doing this and doing that. I've been working so hard, trying to get this money right. I gotta do what I gotta do. Mama, how are you? See, it's true, I've been going through. Tell me what to do, feeling tired all the time, doing this and doing that. I've been working so hard, trying to get this money right.
Mercer Island, here I come for you. Take you places that you never knew. I'll take you away, I'll love you today. Morning will come, I'll be the one next to you. We fell away on a winter season holiday. Mistakes, but we'll right the wrongs along the way. take you away. I'll love you today. Morning will come. I'll be the one here. Nursing out and here I come for you. Take you places that you never knew. I'll take you away. I'll love you today. We can fly on. I'll be the one next to you. We're too young to talk about forever, talk about the weather, to know any better. I just want to laugh until I can't breathe. Midnight moonlight dancing, never get enough sleep. Oh, the whole night through. And we could count the distant tumbling stars from the roof of our cars, letting go of our hearts. Close your eyes, pretend that it's your first kiss. Darling, can you feel it? Oh, so ignorant bliss. Oh, the whole night through. 'Cause we don't wanna grow up. We just wanna be play and make believe, come and rescue me. Feel the sun on my skin and scream. We don't wanna grow up. We just wanna have fun. Wild and free, baby, we can dream farther than our eyes have ever seen. I don't wanna grow up. Baby, could we misbehave a bit more? Never know what's in store when we're rowdy and bored. Honey, can we catch some floating fireflies? Let 'em light our way tonight through the neverland skies. Oh, the whole night through. 'Cause we don't wanna grow up. There is a sound for everything you do. Listen to the sound. I see you.
Welcome everyone to ASL Season 7. This is John, the translator. I'll be translating the pre-match interview with 4 players playing in Group D today.
기대해보면서 24강 2조에 출전하는 4명의 선수와 함께하겠습니다. 이재호 선수, 박성균 선수, 김현우 선수,
So we have with us
나와주셨습니다. 안녕하세요.
Mind, Light, ggaemo, and Modesty.
네, 먼저 박성균 선수 안녕하세요. 굉장히 오랜만에 또 경기장에서 뵙네요.
Mind, it's been a long time since we saw you here.
최근 1월에 온라인 전적을 살펴보니까 저그전 분위기가 너무 좋아요.
Looking at your win rate against Zerg in January, it's 22 wins and 8 losses. That's 74% of win ratio.
편하게 경기장에 오셨습니다.
Do you feel very comfortable today since there are 2 Zergs in the group?
제 입장에서는 저그 많은 게 좋긴 한데 그래도
Of course, I like playing against Zergs.
상대들도 못하는 선수들 아니고
But the
테란 잡고
opponents are
올라오는
not
선수들이라 그렇게
not
쉽다고
easy opponents.
생각은 안
They
했어요.
came
그리고
here by defeating Terrans, so it's
쉽다고
not
생각을
easy.
안 하셨군요.
네.
자, 다른 테란 선수 이재호 선수의 또 생각도 궁금해지는데 자,
Let's
일단
ask
ASL 무대에 또 처음으로
another
인사드리는
Terran
선수가
player.
있습니다. STX 소울
Light.
선수의 서울 출신의 저그 김현우 선수입니다.
But
안녕하세요.
before that, let's have
축하드립니다.
interview with
안녕하세요.
Modesty.
자, 이번 시즌
pro gamer
서울
from
예선을
STX
먼저
Seoul.
통과하면서 ASL 첫 진출에 또
You were one of
성공을
the first to
하셨어요.
qualify
자,
in
이렇게
Seoul
24강
qualifier.
방송 경기를 앞두고 있는
How does
지금의
it feel,
기분은 또 어떠신지도 듣고
Be
싶네요.
in ASL 20 round of 24.
제가 지금까지 여기 프리거 스튜디오를 처음 오는데 그래서 되게 긴장되고요.
This is my first time in the pre-cup
ASL은
studio.
처음 올라온
I'm
거예요.
very
그래서
nervous.
감회가 남다랐고 한번 열심히
It's very
해보겠습니다.
special for me to play in the
감회도
first,
또
in
각오도
my first
남다르실 것
ASL
같은데요. 자,
match.
계속해서 이재호 선수와도 좀 얘기를 나눠보겠습니다.
Moving on to Light.
안녕하세요, 이재호 선수.
네, 안녕하세요.
자, 시즌 2부터 이재호 선수는 계속해서 24강 본선에 개근을 하고 계신데
So since season 2, you've always made it
24강
through to
16강의
round of
분석이
24.
높게 느껴지는 것 같습니다.
네, 네.
이번
You
시즌은
never,
그 높은
you
곳을
never actually made
바라보면서
it really
임하실
far.
텐데요.
Do
지금
you,
기분은
you think
어떠신가요?
you can go far this
또
season?
방송 경기 하려고 앞서서 이제 기다리고 있는데 또 좀 긴장되긴 하거든요.
So
이걸
I'm feeling very nervous
꼭 해야
waiting for the
되는데
match.
오늘 꼭
I need to
하고
overcome
가겠습니다.
this, and I
오늘도
try to
엄청
do that.
일찍 오셨잖아요.
네.
4시 전에 거의
You
오셨던
came really
것
early. You
같은데
came 4 hours
경기장에
before
좀
the
오래
match.
있으니까 긴장이 좀 빨리 풀리진 않아요?
그것 때문에 좀 일찍 온 것도 있어요. 손을 좀 많이
So I
풀면은
came early to warm up
긴장을
my
해도
hands,
내
and
손이 알아서 움직이겠지 이런 생각이 한 건데.
so even if I get nervous,
근데 또
I won't have
인터뷰를
problem
또 이렇게 방송을
microing.
시작하면서 하니까 좀
But
떨리네요.
having interview before
떨리세요.
match is
확실히
making me
방송에
nervous
딱
again.
들어가면은 왠지 모를 긴장감이 있는 것 같아요. 아무래도 김경모 선수도 굉장히 지금 긴장을 하고 계실 텐데.
And we have our
안녕하세요,
last
김경모
player,
선수.
ggaemo.
네, ASL 시즌 3 16강 이후 무려 4시즌 만에 저하고는 또
It's been
이렇게
4
처음 뵙게
seasons
되는데요.
to see you
오랜만에
after
현장에서 또 팬분들
ASL
만나니까
season 3
어떠신가요?
round of 16. How does it feel to be back here?
오랜만에 설레게 게임할 수 있다는 그런 것 때문에 재밌는 것 같아요.
So it's
팬들하고
very
좀
interesting
인사도
for
좀
me. I can
나누셨나요?
play with this excitement
총
again.
푼다고
네.
인사를 못 드렸는데
I haven't been able to say hello to the fans yet
보여드리고 나서
because I was
인사하면
busy warming up.
네, 좋은 결과로
After
또
the match,
팬들하고 인사하면 좋을
I'll
것
meet the
같은데요.
fans myself.
자, 이제 본격적으로 팬분들이 이 4명의
And now we have
선수들에게
questions from the
전해주신
fans.
질문들을 제가 직접 여쭤보는 시간 가져보겠습니다. 먼저 박성균 선수 마이크를 좀
First, we'll
받아주실까요?
interview Mind.
이 최근 온라인상에서의 폼은 많이 올라와 있는데
So
방송
recently, you've been
경기만
doing well
하면
online,
제대로
but
발휘하지 못하시는 것 같아요.
on broadcasted match,
요즘도 긴장을
you
좀 많이
haven't been
하시는
doing
편인가요?
well. You still have issue with your nerves.
제가 뭐 연습 때 그렇게 잘하지 않아서
I'm
네,
not
대회
doing well
때도
during
뭐,
practice.
최근에 했던 대회는 좀 지긴 했는데 뭐 저는
And same in
실력
recent
때문에 뭐 졌다고
events.
생각해요. 뭐 그래서
But I think it's all because of my
제가
skills.
긴장이야 경기에 좀 필요한 긴장만 하는 것 같고.
I'm not
못해서
too
졌던 것
nervous
같아요,
in matches.
경기들은.
오늘 많은
just
분들이
enough.
박성균 선수의 16강 진출을
it's
좀
more about
점치고 계실
skills.
텐데 생각보다는
네.
좀 굉장히 긴장하고 겸손한 듯한 모습도 보여요. 연습이 좀 잘 안 풀리셨나요?
You seem very
오늘?
modest
어,
today,
연습은
so the practice doesn't
잘했고요.
go well.
근데
아, 그러면
제가
혹시-
뭐
네네.
네. 원래는 저 스타일 자체가 뭐 누구랑 하든 제가 막 제가 이긴다
The practice was
이런 거
okay.
잘 못하는
But
성격이고
네.
that's just my style. No matter who I play against,
네.
I
그런 것 같아요.
tend
아무래도
to
첫
not
경기를
provoke the
해봐야 박성균
opponents.
선수가 또 오늘 감을 잡지 않을까 하는 생각이 드는데요. 다음 질문 드릴게요.
네.
콩이님의
next
질문입니다.
question.
최근 새벽 늦은 시간까지 개인 방송을 이어갈 만큼
Recently, you've been
텐션도 너무
streaming
좋고
really late
에너지도
in the
너무
hour
좋은데
into the hours.
혹시 이렇게 된 계기가
Your
특별히
tension and
있는지
energy seems to have
궁금하시다고 합니다.
increased.
새벽 늦게까지 요즘 많이
What is the
하는데
motivation behind
또
that?
원래 이제 스타를 제가 새벽까지는 좀 피곤해서 못 하고
So I do stream a lot late
많은
into the
분들이 뭐
night.
이유를 찾고 싶어 하시는 것 같지만 그냥
Of course,
다른
it's not
게임은
always
새벽에 해도
StarCraft.
괜찮은 것 같아요. 스타는 조금 피곤한데
It's just
그리고
too
반대로
tiring
보고
to play
쓰신
to stream
콩이시라는 분은
playing
네.
StarCraft
어느
really
방송에서도
late.
항상 보여서
Other games I find it okay.
그 시청자들이 누군지 정체를 궁금해하는데
네.
네.
누구시냐고 묻고
저분
싶으신가요?
정체가 저는 궁금하네요 더.
아
네.
정말요?
네.
특별한 계기가 없다고 박성균 선수가 답변을 했는데 김경모 선수가 좀 웃으셨어요? 웃음의 의미가 뭔가요?
ggaemo, you
아니,
just
이게
smiled
요즘에
at his answer. What's the
여성분이랑 잘
reason?
놀고 있더라고요.
그러니까요.
네, 아니
계기가
그래가지고
없는 척하는 거죠 지금.
네, 그래서 웃음이
So I
나오네요.
noticed Mind has been having good time with a lady recently.
게임 하시는 것도 보는데 정말 좋습니다.
배로 주고 말로 받으셨네요, 김경모 선수. 최근 그럼 본인의 텐션과 에너지도 굉장히 남다를 것 같은데요. 본인이 생각하기엔 어떠세요, 경모 선수는?
저는
So same
항상
question to
그냥
you,
스타
Gemo.
방송을
Your
쭉
tension
하기
and energy
뭐
has also been
부끄러울
high
거
recently.
없이 그냥 당당합니다.
여자분이랑 즐겁게 게임하는 게 부끄러운 일은 아니잖아요.
아 그것도 대놓고 얘기할 수 있는데 여기는
네.
대놓고 얘기 안 하니까.
Okay, so
약간
so
시시하니까
네.
당당하게 밝히시겠다
나 여자랑
본인은.
논다.
I'm very comfortable
할
with
수 있죠.
streaming myself.
네,
Of course, I can't stream with a lady like someone, but nevertheless, I enjoyed.
바로 옆에 ASL 시즌 6 예선에서 김현우 선수를 떨어뜨렸던 장본인이죠. 박성균 선수가 또 오늘 이렇게 함께 경기를 하게 됐습니다. 박성균 선수는 그때의 기억을 잊으셨을지 모르겠지만
So
김현우
Modesty,
선수를 기억하고
sitting
계실
next to you is
것 같거든요.
Mind, who knocked you out in
저번 시즌
round of 24 for last season. I mean, in
잊어버리셨어요.
qualifier last season.
서울 예선에서 지난 시즌 6 때
Do you think you can take revenge this time?
예, 제가 졌었죠. 그때.
네.
그때
Okay, I actually forgot about that.
서울에서 그냥 가벼운 마음으로
Back then,
한번 참가해볼까 이런.
I came with a really light mind. I wasn't too serious about it.
졌지만 지금은 뭐 본선
And I lost.
올라왔으니까 그래도
This time I
본선에
made it
더
through.
느낌이 다르니까 한번 잘 해보겠습니다.
And it's different stage, so
가볍게
I
임했던
try to do
예선과
better.
확실히 이 경기장에서 경기를 펼치는 24강 본선은 김현우 선수에게 또 좀 다르게 다가올 것 같은데요. 어떠세요?
이런 오프라인 무대는 항상 떨리니까 그냥 PC방 같은 데도 아무래도 많이 해봤고.
So offline stage is
이번에
always
본선에 그래도
always makes me
준비를
nervous.
했으니까
It's different from playing
아마
at
좋은
PC
모습
bar.
보여드릴 수 있을 것 같아요.
But I have made a lot of
굉장히
preparations, so
조곤조곤 안전하게
you can look
답변을
forward
해주고
to it.
계신데 경기는 또 폭발적으로 보여주실 거란 기대가 있거든요. 다음 질문 계속해서 드릴게요.
Okay, moving on to next
24강
question.
기조에 저그전 굉장히 잘하는 박성균 선수와 이재호 선수가
So
있고
in Group D,
또
there
같은
is
종목인
Mind and Light who
김경모
are very good
선수가
against
있습니다.
Zerg.
많은 분들이 보기에 김현우 선수에게는
There's
쉽지
ggaemo
않은
who is same
조라는
race as
평가가
you.
있어요.
So it's
이번
not an easy
김현우
group for
선수
you.
본인의 평가는 어떠신가요?
What do you think of the group?
모두가 생각하듯이 다 저그가 올라가기는 힘들 것 같고요.
So like everyone expects,
여기에 제 이름이 빼고
it's not an
지금
easy group for
우승자권에
Zerg
있는
to
저그분
advance.
아무나 지금 시드에 있는 사람 아무나 넣어도 2조에서 아마 16강 올라간다고 장담
Even,
못할 것 같아요.
네.
no matter who you put instead of
지금
me in the
2조가
group,
제일 어려운 조라고
like even
생각하고
better Zerg players,
아마
I
지금
think it's very
시청하신
tough
모든 분들도 다
for them to make through.
테란 두 분이 올라가지 않을까 다 아무도
I think most
저그가
viewers expect
올라가지 않을까 다
for the
예상할
two
수 있을
Terran
것
players to
같은데
advance to round of
그래도
16 today.
이변을 만들어내면 더 재밌는
But I think it'll be
경기가 될수
fun
있으니까
to create an
한번
upset.
이변을 한번 만들어내도록 하겠습니다.
네, 김현우 선수가 아니라 어떤 강한 저그가 와도 오늘 저는 힘든 조지만 이변을 만들어 보겠다. 자신감이 느껴지는 답변까지 들어봤습니다. 자, 다음은 이재호 선수께 질문을 좀 드려볼게요.
Now we have a question
호스트님께서
for Light.
오프라인 경기에서의 아쉬움이 많았는데 이번 시즌은 좋은
You've had a lot of
성적을
upsets
기대해봐도
in,
좋을지 그리고 또 그런
offline
아쉬움을
events.
극복하기 위해서 특별한 노력을 하셨는지
Can we
질문을
expect more from
주셨습니다.
you
박성균 선수와도 어찌 보면 좀
more
같은
from you this
맥락의
season?
질문이네요.
And have you done anything to overcome your
제가 한 3시즌,
your
4시즌 동안 이랬던
disappointments?
것 같은데 이제 조금은
So
그
that has been happening for me for
방법을
3
알아가고
seasons,
있거든요.
and I think
그것도
I'm getting hang of
경기를
it.
자주 하다 보니까
The more you
조금 덜
play,
긴장되고 그런 것도
I
있는데
think less nervous you get.
오늘은 제 경기력을 다 발휘해서 좀 그런 거를 극복하고
Today,
가겠습니다.
hopefully, I can show
오늘
everything that I
확실히
prepared.
일찌감치 세팅을 마치시고 대기실에서 또 선수들과 좀 담소를 나누는 모습도 보였는데 확실히 지난 시즌보다는 긴장을 좀 덜하신 것
So
같다.
I saw you in the waiting room talking to other players. You seem
그거는 좀
less
해봐야
nervous
알것
than
같아요. 지금도 좀
last
떨리긴
season.
하거든요.
네.
I think we'll have to see.
들어가니까 또
I do
떨리긴
feel a little
하는데
nervous now,
게임을 해봐야 알 것 같아요.
but we'll have to see
오늘
when we
이재호
actually play.
선수가 좀 반드시 이기셔야 할 이유가 또 있습니다. 다음 질문인데요. 타르타님께서 이 질문 2시즌 전에 이재호 선수에게 그대로 주셨대요.
Now there's another reason for you to win. The next question says, last season you were knocked out from round of 24 and you weren't able to show ceremony.
2시즌 넘게 기다리고 계신 분이에요.
This season,
이
can we
세레모니.
expect
어떠세요?
제가 좀 개인 방송을 하면서
expect a ceremony from
말로는 이제
you?
그렇게 많이 했거든요. 그 축구 선수 호날두가 하는 그 세레모니는 약간 리액션이 굉장히 크잖아요.
그쵸, 네.
덩치도 크고.
So my ceremony is
캠에서 나오는
it's
화면이다
like the
보니까
soccer
제가
player
말로는 많이 했는데
Ronaldo. Is it in English?
액션까지.
네, 한번
And,
시도해보겠습니다.
it involves huge
기대하겠습니다.
action.
알겠습니다. 자
I think
마지막으로
you can-
김경모 선수께 또
You can
질문을
expect a ceremony from me
드리겠습니다.
this time.
자 자, 현역 시절 군제동이라는
I know
별명이
nothing of
붙을
sports
정도로 인상 깊은 활약을 많이
Okay.
보여주셨는데
Moving on to
10여
ggaemo.
년이 지났어요. 지금도 또 그런 얘기 들으면 감회가 남다르실 것 같은데요.
Back in your
일단 안
Ace days,
입고 그런 거
some people called you military Jerong. It's been 10 years and people still call you that. How do you feel?
떠올릴 수 있게 해줘가지고 좋은
So I feel very thankful to my fans for calling me that. It brings me nostalgia.
있었기에
and I
김경호
like that.
선수가 이 자리까지 또 다시 한번 올 수 있었던 것 같은데요. 다음 질문입니다. 같은 팀에 소속돼 있었던 이재동 선수에게 골목 스타 콘텐츠로 솔루션을
So
받으셨던데
it is said that you received
준비하면서 큰
some
도움이
great
되셨나요?
tips from
제가
Jerong,
그 솔루션 받을
who used to be in the same
때까지만
team as
해도
you. Did that help a lot
아,
for your
얘가
practice?
최근에 스타를 많이 안 해가지고 감이 좀 살아 있을까 그런
아,
생각을
네네.
했는데 또 그
So
우승자
before meeting Jerong,
그 스타
I was very
개념은
skeptical about
꽉
his
잡혀
advice
있더라고.
because
그래서
he hasn't been playing in a
많이
long time.
도움이 됐던 것
but,
같아요. 오늘도 그
He
오기
proved
전에
to be
빌드
a
같은
real
거좀
bonja.
상의를
He
했거든요.
gave me really
네.
great tips, great tips
좀
about my builds.
도움을 많이 받은 것 같습니다.
I
그럼
think
도움을
it
많이
has
준
been a
이재동
big help.
선수에게 좀 이 자리를 빌어서 오늘 각오를
So since
밝혀주신다면서
he helped you, can you
각오라기보다
can you
그
say anything to
제동이
Jerong?
방 시청자분들이 항상 제 방 와가지고 하는 말이 제동이 방송 언제 키냐고
네.
스타 방송 언제
Well, when I stream, a lot of people come to my stream and ask when is Jerong streaming?
개인 방송에 팬들에게
so I would like to
부탁받은
tell Jerong
답변까지
to stream
해주시네요.
more often.
네, 알겠습니다. 오늘 4명의 선수 팬분들의 질문에
Okay, that's
솔직하게
it for the
답변해 주셔서
questions.
감사드리고요. 좋은 경기력 기대하겠습니다.
We'll move
고맙습니다.
on to the match.
Excellent translating as always, John.
ASL 시즌
Thank you so much, John. It's good to have
Good to have
expert
him back.
translation
He's gonna go back there
finally.
and start organizing his Pokemon cards. So, guys, Artosis has the day off. Thank you, Rapid, for coming down and subbing in. I really appreciate it.
No problem. It's good to get the band back together
I
again.
know. It's been when is the last time I casted with you?
Oh God! Basically, the last time ggaemo was in the ASL. It's that long ago.
It's been quite a while. It's funny because I actually see you all the time, but I just don't usually end up casting with you that much. So,
yeah, what you guys don't see is that usually I'm just like sitting right off camera over there.
Yeah, you're down here.
Watching at the studio. So
all
now
work in the same place,
I've moved
but-
over here. I kicked Dan out of the studio.
That's right.
Just like ggaemo kicked Dan out of the ASL
Yeah.
qualifiers. So
it was actually so funny because, obviously you guys probably know my hands are not working. I'm waiting for my wrist to recover, so I can't play in any qualifiers or play anything in general at all. But we were all excited for Dan going to the ASL qualifiers.
That's right.
Hoping he could take some big names, but losing to ggaemo, there's no shame in that.
Oh, there's no shame-o in
There's
that
no
one.
shame-o.
We're going to be doing this all day long.
That's right,
But yeah, it was actually really cool. They had really solid games, and I think
Yeah.
Dan told me he learned a lot to this, and then I found him in the bathroom crying later on. It was a great experience. I
With
actually
his
went
keyboard smashed. And,
I was like, Dan, what happened to all the keys
he
on your
looks at his
keyboard?
reflection in the mirror and just punches the glass.
It's so funny.
He took the loss pretty well. Dan's actually a pretty good sport when he
Yeah,
loses.
it was just really fun to travel around. But actually, they mentioned in the qualifiers that specifically Mind took out Modesty the last time they played in the qualifiers. And Mind is actually the guy that has eliminated effort more times from the ASL than any other player. And of course, he's the defending champion right now. So you got to say, like, oh my God, there's a lot of storylines that go into these 4 players playing against each other. It's kind of cool to have ggaemo back in the ASL after, I think it's been 3 seasons. I think he was in season 3, and now he's back in here. So yeah, it's a brand new season, and I guess it's the first time I'm getting to cast this, so it's kind of cool to be back.
It was interesting to see in the interview kind of the free-floating anxiety a lot of the players were talking about. Even with Mind, Mind's a veteran player, but he hasn't really had that success in the
Current era.
The current era that now that we're in remastered and we've injected a lot of life back into the scene. So it's going to be interesting to see who comes out on top. I mean, Light was killing it the KSL, of course, but can he do it again?
Yeah, Light's best performance came from the most recent KSL. He made it to the round of 8 where he got kind of smacked down by Sharp. But in ASL, he advanced on to the round of 16 in ASL Season 2 when he first qualified, and then he's never been able to make it to the round of 16 since then. So you really got to ask yourself, how is a guy this good getting stopped in his tracks? And I think this is the answer. He faces a lot of all Protoss groups, with the exception of Season 2, where he advanced. So tonight, there's no Protoss. It's just Terrans and Zergs killing each other to advance, and it's just like the players said in their interview, probably the Terrans are a little bit favored here.
Yeah, I would say so. I mean, certainly, I think Light is the one player we could say he will get out of this group. Mine should get out of this group, but you cannot count out Modesty. You cannot count out ggaemo. And look, guys, these are best of ones. It's still in a group format, but anything can happen in a best of one.
Yeah.
Let's say that one of these guys 4 pulls, and the other guy got a little bit greedy. I mean, he did a gamble build too.
Okay,
He went for a command center first. Well, then you lose.
Yeah,
So,
it's not called Fairness Craft or Justice Craft.
That's right.
It's actually
I wouldn't mind it being called Justice Craft, though.
That's true. That's the expansion that's coming out next year.
That's right, yeah.
Don't tell Blizzard I spoiled that one.
That's right. Big
But
spoiler there.
yeah, here's Mind, Scholar Terran, one of the most kind of storied players, one of the few Royal Roaders that we have here.
Right.
But yeah, he has not had incredible performances, and you can actually see that his in-tournament versus Zerg matchup is one of his worst.
That is correct. So cool to have him down here now. By the way, I dig the song he picked for kind of his intro song.
Anything by Cash Cash is cash.
is fine with me. So yeah, let's see exactly how he does. Going over here to Modesty, this guy is an excellent player. He's been around for a long time, a real seasoned veteran. He seemed kind of in that interview a little bit like withdrawn.
Yeah, and
He
this is
seemed
a
like
guy that got to the round of 8 in KSL. He's actually doing really well right now, but I guess he's a little bit nervous because it's his first time in the studio.
Well, sure, yeah. I mean, and this was sort of unpacked in those interviews. His experience is key, I think, to overcome anxiety.
Yeah.
It is weird, man, when you actually sit down and
in front of an audience.
In front of an audience, and you're at, it's not your desk, and it's not necessarily your setup, and then there's a camera guy. I mean, look at this camera guy right over his computer, zooming in on his face. It can be a little bit unsettling. I think a lot of people don't think about this as much when you're just watching because you just want to see some good games, but it's very hard to take what you've done at home, what you've done on stream, and then bring that into a giant arena. Yes.
Because there's white noise in your ears, there's fans cheering and signs and everything. It can be really difficult to have that solid performance here. So yeah, Mind's a big veteran versus kind of a newcomer here to the ASL Modesty. You might give him a little bit of an edge, but these are new maps for a lot of for this season, and while I think a lot of them do have Terran favorite aspects to them, exactly what you said is right. Modesty could just throw his builds out the window and go for a super early pool.
Yeah,
make it anybody's game.
I think you might be right. So yeah, let's see. If you're up against Mind, who I think has some of the best builds, I really don't think Mind gets enough credit, by the way.
Oh, yeah.
When you have someone as good as Flash kind of overshadowing all the Terrans, it's a little bit unfair, with Zergs, we've got a bunch of great ones, Jadong and Solkey and many, many others. But like with Flash being the best player, basically, of all time in any game, I think that sometimes people forget and don't appreciate how good and how accomplished Mind really is.
And for Mind, he is actually up-and-coming Terran player at the same time as Flash started to have his big surge, and a lot of people thought Mind was going to be like the second Flash or a contemporary of Flash.
Right.
He Royal Roaded his first tournament. Not even Flash did that.
Yeah.
But then he kind of fell off afterwards, and so he kind of lost that opportunity to be in the same category as Flash.
It's
did.
pretty crazy too, because I mean, Royal Roading, especially at that time in StarCraft, I mean, the game was so
Totally
popular and so hot. Yeah, and so it's like, you what?
Yeah.
And you know what's funny about that? Now that I think about it, yeah, he Royal Roaded there, but now he's talking about how comfortable he is in the studio now. I would assume that like he would have gotten over that after you tear through everything.
I mean, he does have a lot to prove, right? He hasn't had a ton of success. I kind of have Jadong syndrome with Mind, where I know how good he has been, so I expect him to always be that good, and I think a lot of fans hold him to that high standard
It can also be very weird if you're one of these top-tier players and people are saying, you're old hat.
Yeah.
It's like, oh, you still play, but you're not the guy winning anymore, right? Like,
you don't cast as good as you used to, Tasteless.
Oh, I get that all the time,
Put
man.
Tasteless out to pasture any day
That's
now.
That's right, man. Tasteless went to Grandma's house and
We're
ran
going to
around
turn
the fields all
Tasteless's
summer.
toenails into glue.
Dude, it's like it's kind of sad because you have a player who like has won an entire tournament and is so good.
Yeah.
Once they're not winning every tournament, people then say you're bad.
Well, so
you know what I'm saying?
Exactly. The precursor to the ASL was called the Hungry App StarLeague. Mine won that tournament, and then we had the Advanced StarLeague and then the ASLs. But these are kind of the list of how this tournament chain got started, and mine won the first one of them over, I think it was Quanro, but it's still really, really impressive to have him start things out with a win, and he has never really kind of lived up to that potential since then. You know, Modesty was a ZVZ god way back in the day, but it was got kind of overshadowed by other ZVZ gods like Jadong and stuff. So both players kind of have a little bit to prove, but in different ways. For Modesty, you know, if you only watch ASL and not our sister tournament, the KSL, then you're not going to know a lot about Modesty, even though he did advance on to the round of 8 there. So I'm actually really looking forward to seeing if Modesty can also have a good performance here, even though he is still at least saying that he's a little bit nervous.
Right. I mean, you know, you only got one game. We had an interesting situation yesterday, or not yesterday. It
feels like yesterday.
Feels like yesterday, but with game one in the group being completely one-sided, and how demoralizing that is, right? Because in a best of 3 or a best of 5, okay, you screw up and you lose. We did that with a proxy hatch in the middle of the map and trying to run up Best's ramp, and it just got shut down. But at least in a best of 3, you can say, okay, whatever, I'm going to go into game 2 now.
Yeah, you have that chance to reset.
That's right. Okay, like I showed some cheese. It didn't work. Let me show you what else I got. But when it's in this weird best of 1 format, if you have a lackluster game to start it off, then you got to wait, and you're just sitting there brooding and reliving the loss, and it can be very hard to then psychologically try to get out of that state.
You got to be really good to yourself, because you lose the first game, especially if you have a really bad loss, and you're just sitting there going, oh my God, you're kicking yourself. It's so frustrating to start with a loss and then bring it back afterwards. There's this weird stat, I think, in GSL where actually more times than not, the player who loses first actually winds up getting out in the end of the group. I'm like, wow, that's really surprising.
Well, it's also weird about like when if you're in like a best of 3, for instance, when do you put the cheese in? Because a lot of times you see it in game 2.
That's true.
A lot of times it's game 2. And in fact, some of the craziest players, when they figure out what kind of strat they want to do, they'll have it where. Like, let's take, this is going way back, but players like MVP occasionally would cheese in the first game and then the last game in like a best of 7 where it's like, oh, those are just not normal moments to open.
Yeah.
So, yeah, I mean, it's going to be funny. We got to keep in mind as well is that this group, everybody had to practice for exactly the same number of matchups.
Oh, right.
Sometimes you have a situation where it's like 1 Protoss and 3 Terrans, and, of course, we look at this and say, well, the Protoss, you know, he only had to worry about PvT, where the other the other Terrans, they had to do TVT and then possibly PvT. Or sometimes you have situations where they'll say, I didn't even want to look into this matchup. I thought it was such a Terran-heavy group. I thought we'd just do TVT. But this time around, I think everybody had to prep pretty evenly.
Yeah, and in all the other groups, there's been at least one Protoss player who's just been super good. Like Snow was in Group B, and then we had Best. But no Protoss is here. It's just Zergs and Terrans, so let's go.
Now playing in blockchain.
One day you're going to figure out the lyrics to Song Tastes.
I think it's like Die.
It's from Die by the blade of the one that you hate. Yeah. It's a song about vengeance.
I thought it was
the
woman you hate. Okay, the one that you hate. All right.
We got it, guys.
Got it. Okay, so we have mine here in the top left. And we have our Zerg player, Modesty, down here in the bottom left.
I love how he's using his EverClan tag here. That's pretty sick. A lot of pro players, even though they're not on teams anymore, they do still have pretty popular clans that are out there competing in clan wars and things like that. So, yeah, Modesty making his ASL debut here. Like I said, he did pretty well in the KSL where he played against Lita to get out of his group. Now, Lita had a very weird 2-port race style, so this TVZ is going to look much different from Modesty. So we'll get a chance to see a different side of him, and it's on this map blockchain, which I think a lot of pros and casual viewers are still trying to figure out.
Yeah, I mean, when having all these new maps down here, this is what makes RTS games so cool, is it's not just that, the different features of the different races, but it's also a fact of, okay, like, a few adjustments on even a map, like if they update a map, can completely change the way a matchup can operate. And this is something, this style of map where we have the 2 gases and the 2 assimilators set up. I want to explain this to you guys. You have the ability, depending on which structures you kill, to either open that area up or close it off.
Right.
And so there's a lot that you can do in these situations to try to isolate stuff. Now, when we were looking at some of the games from before here, it did seem like Terran had a trickier time getting a third. Now, Terran doesn't always have to get a third to beat a Zerg. Terran can actually be quite operational on 2 bases. We will point out if there's something super crazy that happens here as far as like tech goes, but I think we could probably safely assume that it's going to be some Medic Marine. We've seen this trending style where people are getting Vultures. They try to dart in, and then they pump out Goliaths if they're going for an expand style as well. And this is actually a quick command center.
Yeah, wow, he is going to go
Gamble,
CC first.
Gamble.
It is a little bit of a gamble. Obviously, you're...
So you're going to stop the Overlord right when he sees
he
okay.
does.
So let's keep in mind. Oh, look at this. Mine's like, you up here? Okay.
That's really smart.
Yeah,
Glad he did that.
So yeah, nice scout timing there by Mind. So let's see if there's any way that Modesty can try to exploit this. Basically, if you see them get a command center up right away, and you're not able to punish that, the momentum that Terran has, it's a very shaky game. The early mid game for the Zerg is very shaky.
Yeah, so because he saw that, unfortunately, Modesty went for a 12 hatchery build, so it's not like he's going to be able to aggressively pressure that as if he had gone like 9 pool speed. Then that gets really scary. But the way that this map is kind of structured, it reminds me a lot of like Outsider or even our Skull Desert map, because it has kind of an outside ring of bases that are separated from the center pathways. So a lot of times you can try to get a really economic start because you have those safe expansions, but air is very powerful on this map. So you've seen a little bit of a resurgence of like 1-1-1 because dropships and raids can be very popular, very powerful for Mind. And likewise, the Muta play from Zergs is still very strong on this map.
And it doesn't seem like Modesty wanted to do anything like throw down a Hydra Den and try to do a rush or make a bunch of Lings right away and try to get in there with a kill. He's just rapidly teching up into layer. Now, I'm assuming that he's going to be going Mutalisks from here. Occasionally, we will see kind of a sneaky snake strat where they just go for, for lurkers and later do some kind of weird drop. But if we're going to be following any kind of orthodox path, definitely we should be expecting some Muta tech here.
Yeah, now what that SCV was getting out there to see is there a third base yet? And the answer is no. There's no third hatchery. It's just going to be 2 hatch lair, and I'm expecting mutas. Like I said,
yeah, there it is.
Muta tech is very, very popular because you have structures that obviously air units can get over that land units can't. So it makes mutas pretty good, especially when it comes to harassing that natural expansion.
So with mutas, it's a lot less about knowing that it's coming. It's more about can you handle it as it's getting there.
Yeah.
Because mutas, when they're controlled correctly, are one of the most exploit-ish units that you can actually have here. I mean, you can really abuse a Terran and really try to pick where you're actually going to have a fight.
Yeah, and with mutas, they are, a lot of people like to say they're the best unit in the game because they're just so maneuverable. But a lot of times, if you don't get enough damage done with them, if the Terran puts up turrets and defends too much, then you've got these units that can't fight a big bio ball straight up, and then your Sunken's busted and you die. So you do have to get damage done with them.
I do also want to point out, this is, excuse me, I'm a little bit congested today. I do want to point out that Medic Marine can beat Ling Muta, but can also be directly countered by it.
Yeah, it's weird.
And this is one of the things about StarCraft 1 where, in some cases we would think of, okay, like an Immortal just beats a tank, right? In StarCraft 2, for instance. It's like, of course, we look at the Immortal and we look at the tank, we say, okay, you need to get something else in order to take on that Immortal. In StarCraft 1, especially in this matchup, it can go either way. So a lot of times it's about how you engage when you engage.
Yeah, I'm glad you pointed that out, because another big difference is that when you're kind of teching up and looking to build those counter units in StarCraft 2, you're still getting a big army. But in ZVT, the Zerg player kind of has to choose, am I playing defensively and macroing a lot of economy and just having barely enough units, or am I trying to fight you and go aggressive and build a big army? It's a bigger choice to make. But here are those mutas. They're out and they're headed across the map, and I think turrets will be done just in time.
Okay, so there's a whole art to trying to hold out these mutas. It's the turret placement. You don't want to make the turrets too soon because those are SVs that aren't mining. And you want to have the Marines spread at just the right angle. So he's got the Marines here in the middle. He's going to slowly come up here. And then Zerg, of course, has to decide, do I actually want to try to dive in? because occasionally, and we don't see this as much at top tier play, but occasionally you'll see someone dive inside the main and then realize like, oh, these mutas can't get out now.
Yeah.
And then you lost the game. I mean, if you lose all these mutas, it's over, buddy. Especially because Terran went command center first.
Yeah, and maybe we don't talk about it enough, but there are so many points in this game where either player can just straight up lose. It's like, well, maybe you just have one too few turrets and then you lose everything in your base. Now this time it looks like actually I think he's got 1, 2, 3, 4 turrets up right there, and that should be enough to hold these 8 mutas off.
It's kind of like a low equity harass area that he was in over there. I mean, he could try to deny the gas, but what you really want to be doing is killing SCVs, and at the minimum then trying to like kill off a turret or make them do something. And so far, this is just like water off a duck's back.
Oh,
this attack. I mean, Mind is completely unfazed. Now we do have the third base coming here for Zerg. But remember, with that command center first, that risk that Mind took, he's going to have a lot more muscle as he comes out on the map. And a lot of times, Zergs will just get smothered before they can get into that hive tech and try to have something that can actually directly counter and deal with Medic Marine, which is basically Defilers in this case.
Yeah, you're exactly right, Tasteless. I want to talk about one big kind of characteristic of Modesty that we're starting to see here. In Modesty's series versus Lita, he is the most passive Zerg player I have ever seen. If he has 10 times your supply, he will still macro in his base. It's so strange to watch. And I want to see if he plays a similar style here, because yeah, he has mutas out on the map, but you got to be proactive. And not let a guy like Mind just build up to 1 billion supply, because he's so scary once he gets his legs underneath him.
I think one of the problems as well, Rapid, is that basically those mutas can't really do any more damage, right?
Yeah.
He's trying to get some value out of them by having them go over to these different locations. And this is what we were talking about earlier, of trying to lock off or open up various parts of the map. And again, guys, the third base, a little bit tricky for Terran. You can get it up, but it's you know, if Terran's out pushing on the map, even 4 Zerglings can basically screw up an expansion, force all the SCVs to leave, and it's a big interruption in your mining. Now, we see also Mind is more comfortable moving out now. Now, I don't believe he's going to be trying to come out here with a push immediately, but he does want to keep some pressure. That's why we have some of the Marines and medics out inside the front. We have the 2 starports coming down here to get that science facility, and we're going to see science vessels continuously made here. And you want to watch very carefully, make sure that Terran doesn't lose too many of those vessels, because you get so much value out of them as the game goes on. Also, we might see 2 dropships come out. This has been very popular in the last 2 years, is you get 2 dropships and you just kind of come into a position where the Zerg isn't quite defended and try to completely wipe them out.
Yeah, Modesty is building a ton of Sunkens out here. Like I said, you can die really, really fast if you just have 1 too few of those. But a lot of times, one of the ways that pro players will cut corners is by trying to, either leave them unmorphed or build them at the last second. So he's just being very, very safe. And he's right to do so, because this is a super scary bio ball. It's coming out across the map. And so you're going to need some way to either defend against that or pull it back with Muta Harass, because I don't think, there's no like lurker check or anything yet. Oh, he's going Greater Spire.
I was wondering about this. I was actually a little unsure. I thought maybe he's going to try that out. Now, when you go for Greater Spire and you're trying to get Guardians, we want to see where those Guardians are made, because they're not very mobile units, right?
Yeah,
just
where
like
are those
Brood
mutas?
Lords.
There they are.
Yeah, just over that, like, I don't know, the Panda Bear Sanctuary or whatever.
Yeah.
Yeah, they're just over there. But the thing is, a lot of times when you see quick hive tech, what you're looking for is them to make it outside the natural and try to hit there. But it seems like this is almost a defensive measure.
And look how well Modesty is defending with those mutas,
right.
Over those tiny little map artifacts. A lot of times you don't respect those, but he's using them super well. He's defending against this push, holding it back just long enough, and maybe we'll see these Guardians come out here pretty soon to defend.
Let's see. Well, also, he's banked up a lot of gas, right? So there's 1.5k gas. That's a lot of Ultralisks as well.
Yeah, if you see that and you think he's bad at macro, it's like, no.
Yeah, he's actually banking that.
Yeah, this gets dumped instantly as soon as your Ultra and Guardian tech come out. And there are those 2 dropships you were talking about, Tasteless, getting scouted by that Overlord.
Okay, he's going to try to come in here. He's trying to escort these dropships.
Oh my god, it's going to be so bad. He's going to get the dropships. Oh my god. No, picking off those Scourge. Great control there by Mind.
Okay, now the Overlord's going to be taken out. So does he send these mutas back? I feel like he has to. Wow, and he actually misses with the other set of Scourge.
Yeah.
So this drop is just going to get off. And I don't see any Ultras out yet. Let's see if there's anything that can actually help him try to defend this area. Because again, the third base is too important. You cannot afford to lose this.
Now, he did dump a bunch of gas somewhere, so I'm guessing that there are maybe Ultras in production, but yeah, there's the rest of his gas just disappearing. So we will have that late game tech coming out, and there is only one science vessel, which is not a lot, but somehow he's got to save his main, and there's nothing here to defend.
Yeah, he's coming in here now. Now we have more and more bio unloading. I actually think this might just be it. He's making Guardians, but of course you can always pick up with the dropships and go somewhere else. And I mean, how much more damage is going to be dealt over here? These drones are going to be pulled right away.
There are these Ultras popping finally, but these only have the armor. There's no plus attack upgrades. Here are the Guardians finally at the 11th hour, and just maybe they'll be able to hold on here, but he can't take too much damage.
Yeah, he's continuing to stem. It looks like this has been cleaned up very nicely done by Modesty. I'm surprised that mine didn't try to pull away, but I think, is there a drop? Yeah, there is a drop over here at this location as well. Now, he needs to take out that Nidus network. I think even if Modesty doesn't see it, he should expect this is the location that he's going to be dropped at.
Yeah, and these dropships are being used to devastating amounts of damage here. There's not a bunch of Sunkens here, but there is that Ultra, and maybe the Guardians can scoot over there and help hold this on.
It's kind of this weird situation. He doesn't have any medics.
Yeah, I mean, Stim's great, but it's unreal how much worse Marines are without medics. Like,
yes,
we pretend like Brood War was the only version of StarCraft, but before StarCraft Brood War, you just didn't have medics, and Marines were so bad.
I remember looking at Stim being like, well, this is the stupidest thing ever, man.
Why are you going to hurt your own units? What's up with that?
I also know how good it was back then, but yeah, once you have Stim and medics, it's like, whoa, you guys
so
just made this crazy. So this third base is taking a lot of damage. I don't see any way for him to be able to get over here and really save this in time. I mean, yeah. The Jaws soundtrack is playing as these Guardians come up here. He's killed all the drones. He might even try to rotate down here to the bottom. And this has been a lot of worker kills, guys.
Nice pick off of that science vessel. The scientist inside unable to write his thesis in time to defend himself.
Did you know the voice of the science vessel is the same guy that did the voice acting for Mr. Smithers, or he still does? Not Mr. Smithers, but Mr. Burns. Mr. Burns.
Mr. Burns?
Yeah.
No way.
Wait. It's Mr. Burns. Wait, hold on, wait.
Mr. Burns is the old rich dude.
Okay, it's one. Yeah, no, I think it is. Yeah. I looked this up a long time ago. He's one of the voices for the Simpsons.
His Homer, the voice of the Marine.
Yeah.
I don't know, man. Those things are pretty dumb sometimes.
I'm completely lying. I'm like, did you know that's Morgan Freeman? You're like, no, it's not. It's not at all. Like,
you mean LL Cool J?
Right.
Like, no.
No.
T-Pain did not do any of these voices either.
Okay, so we're gonna have this drop come in here now. Now, let's see. You know, Ultras are very powerful and they can directly combat a lot of these Marines, but if you notice the positioning that these are in, it's very hard to actually get back here, and there's already so many drones getting killed off.
Oh my god.
Chamber.
Who would win, one 10-ton Ultralisk or a few shooty boys? These drops are just doing so much damage. The Ultras are totally useless. See how long it takes? They can't even get back there.
Can he not get down there? Is
no way.
I thought he could have certainly got to that. This is one of the weird things about StarCraft 1 is that you look at certain positions, you say, oh, that's an opening, and it's like, actually, no, nothing can fit through there.
Well, yeah, also, what's kind of comical here is that, you know, you name a unit the Guardian. You think that it'd be pretty good at guarding things, but they've actually been remarkably inefficient. They're so slow, you can't move as fast as the dropships can, and they're not in time to defend any of these drops. So, I don't know, that was a big investment for Modesty, and it didn't really accomplish a whole lot.
Now, I don't know if he's going to be able to take this on directly, but if he can irradiate some of these Guardians and then get the science vessels out, he needs to get them back.
Oh, gotta move those Guardians. The irradiation damage is actually huge right now in those guards, but here come better upgraded Ultras, and I think these should be able to deal quite a bit of damage, but the Guardians need to be hitting at the same time.
Yeah, he's doing a very good job kiting. You know, Ultras, even when they're, you know, got the speed upgrade and everything else, and they're very quick. It's tricky. You can really outmaneuver them if you have good enough control with Medic Marine, unless you're in an overwhelming number.
Yeah, and Ultras suck against medics too. The AI glitches out if there's a Marine there, and so they just glitch out on the medics.
Yeah, I mean the fact that the AI auto will target the Marine, and so if the medic's in the way, suddenly this medic is a lot of times even inadvertently body blocking the Ultra, and you know, with Stim Marines doing damage at such an insane rate, that's actually pretty huge.
Man, mine's drops this game have been so good. Here it comes in, back at it again with the drops in the main and the natural. And you're starting to see why they're so good. You can't get Ultras back there. Guardians are too slow to defend. There's no Zerglings in this group, or in this army composition at all. So these drops just keep dealing such incredible damage.
He's doing too much damage. I'm really curious about the Guardian tech in general. It didn't seem like it helped him at all.
Yeah.
And now he's actually going to get the Greater Spire. Oh, I'm sorry. No, that's got way more HP than I I gave it credit for.
Yeah, Marines aren't that good.
They're not that good. Okay.
Well, he's only on 2-2. 3-3 actually should be coming here, and killing that Evo chamber is going to delay any future upgrades for these for the Ultras coming through. So they're stuck on 4-1 right now, which is pretty good.
Nice,
oh,
nice,
that's
nice,
pretty
nice,
cute.
nice, nice.
Oh my God.
Yeah, if you're not watching that, that's a trick you can do. If you see them bunched up, you just tag one of them with the Irradiate, and if they're not watching, because a lot of times with Scourge, you kind of set it and forget it while you're doing a whole bunch of other things on the map. But yeah, beautifully done, and that might give him an opportunity to try to drop into that third base.
So we're starting to see one of the cool functions of blockchain right now, where players are opening up the map by killing off those lurker eggs that are blocking the pathway between those assimilators. And what that's going to allow Mind to do is, as he continues to harass with drops, now we can also just run bio into different bases here and just be that much more annoying. It's going to make it harder for the Ultras to get places to defend, and I think Mind's just kind of pulling Modesty apart at this point.
Yeah, well, let's see how much damage these Ultras can do. Oh my God, more Scourge coming in here.
Whoa, those Scourge are actually doing a good job connecting. Full surround here on the bio, and actually that D-Matrix is not that great.
It's so unfortunate that he lost it, because he could have set up a lot more D-Matrixes.
Yeah.
I'm not saying that he would have won the fight, but I mean, that was very unfortunate. Ideally, what you want to do is try to glide in, avoiding Scourge, of course, but you want to glide in with the Science Vessels and then just tag all the Ultras with a Radiate, and you're going to make them a lot squishier for when the actual fight comes.
Now, this is actually really interesting. I would have expected Mind to take a safer base from that, but that's his Ninja Secret expansion. He's got that 4th base up, and as long as he can keep that, he's going to have so much economy to keep pumping this bio out, to keep being as cost-effective as it has been.
All right. We're in a funny spot in this game, because Zerg did a very cool tech choice, just going straight into Ultralisk. Keep in mind, guys, there's no Defilers here, which is something we're much more common and typical in the matchup in general.
Little Guardian.
There's nothing
Little Guardian that could.
Yeah. Oh, great catch there on the Vessel.
Nice.
But there's a modest, I wasn't trying to be funny here, a modest army out here for Modesty, but not enough to try to put any real pressure onto the Terran. Mind got his 3rd base up. Mind has basically been the aggressor this entire time, and it's working very well for him.
Well, that's what happens when you slingshot your Zerg tech with this crazy Zerg style, where you skip everything in the mid game and just go straight to late game tech, is that you are going to have to play defensive and hope that you can build up that critical mass, hit a bunch of upgrades, and that fits kind of with Modesty's defensive Zerg playstyle, because he's trying to hold off these drops and get to this late game tech, and now he's here, but I think he might just be a little bit too far behind. Look at the Science Vessel count, such cost effectiveness, and oh man, if he can clear this group of bio though, he will be able to hold on for longer.
That was a great moment highlighting just how good D-Matrix is
God,
against Ultras.
so good.
If you can target the one, if you play enough, you'll just kind of know which way the Ultra is going to go. If you can ping that Marine with the D-Matrix, suddenly the Ultra has lost way more of its value. It's actually one of the reasons why you want to have a lot of Zerglings with the Ultras. I mean, it sort of organically occurs anyways because you have this excess of minerals, but the symbiosis of Ling and Ultra together, the amount of damage, especially with the Adrenal upgrades, makes them just such effective units.
And look what he's going to do here. He's going to block the top of that ramp with like a D-Matrix Marine. There's no way you break up there with Ultras. You can only fit like one of those on the ramp max, and so realistically, that's not the assault plan there.
This is so funny because this is like a role reversal of how we've seen games operate on this map. Suddenly it's the Zerg that has no way of getting another base. There's no convenient location if you look. Pretty much Mind's in control of the map. And I think Mind may just try to wear down the Zerg and let the resources dry up. And then, you know, Modesty just has to leave it. You don't have to go in for the kill in this matchup in this position that Mind has created.
Especially with that kind of secret hidden 3 o'clock base. I still don't think that that Modesty knows that that's there, or at least he's not going to be able to do anything about it because it's so far away. If he tries to go out there, I think Mind will just like fly in and kill him. So, oh no. It's
so nicely done. This is called the Eraser. So you could basically, well, I feel like something
this is the indecisive
something needs
eraser.
to die here. Okay, there we go. I feel like he's, you know, what's happening is there's so many things going on in this game. He basically set it to patrol.
Yeah.
But yeah, you can irradiate a vessel. It doesn't take any damage from it, but the spell will still deal damage to everything around it. And I remember the first time I experienced someone do that to me. I mean, I was blown away.
Oh, it's so unfair,
I was like,
too.
whoa.
The drones just died to it. Actually, some great scourging here, and this should be enough mutants and irradiated Ultra to take out this bio ball. Now, there's more coming in here, but it feels like there's a little bit of a hiccup from Mind maybe in the forces that he had out on the map, but Modesty's economy is so taxed right now, he just can't afford to keep producing these expensive units.
Busted. Hidden base has been spotted here.
Got
By the way,
it.
this supply differential is crazy.
Yeah.
I think this is 99% in Mine's favor, basically. I mean, as long as Mine continues to do what he's doing and not have moved command armies on, okay.
It looks a little bit weird there, but
yeah, but
oh
I mean,
yeah, killing this base
honestly,
means there's no fourth base that'll realistically ever come up for Modesty, and so this is as good as it gets.
Yeah, exactly. So he backs up here, and again, you know, look at the gas here for Modesty. It's 80, 84, 86, 88, 92. He's not getting gas very quickly. So every Ultralisk becomes much more precious. He has a lot of minerals, which you could basically only spend on Zerglings or other bases to try to get gas again. So Mine has him exactly where he wants him. And this is also one of the reasons why Mine is just, if you watch the minimap, scanning everywhere and looking to see, okay, have you got any other bases? No?
Yeah.
Then I should win.
Well, so the other facet of this game is that with the Crazy Zerg, you don't get the Filers, which are the biggest unit against Terran. You don't have Dark Swarm, and that's why you can keep seeing this SK Terran bio, because there's nothing to plague your Science Vessels. There's no Dark Swarm to stop your bio. You just have to keep ramming these high-tech, high-upgraded units into it, but you need an economy to do that. You can't just, you know, Dark Swarm's free. I mean, it costs 2 Zerglings to consume or whatever, but that's a cost-effective way to stop bio. This is the most expensive way to stop it, and he also doesn't have a good economy.
And you can see he's continuing to roam here. Not even a lot of gas for Scourge, by the way, guys.
Oh, yeah.
There are other gas-intensive units, so it's like now these vessels can freely roam around the map. I know a lot of games will have the player basically into a position where he can't defend his buildings. In this case, Mine has really done a game of trying to stifle growth as much as he possibly can. And again, this is going to be another expansion wiped out. This is brutal, man.
That's
I mean, this is a tough way to go as Modesty.
Yeah, you know, it really is. I feel like he did try to play a kind of an interesting style. We don't get to see a whole lot, this Crazy Zerg, which, you know, Blockchain does kind of accommodate, but I think Mine's just too good at this. He's going to, oh my God, the quadruple eraser.
Wow.
No one leaves here alive.
Okay, GG. Well done. Very exciting to see Mine handling that well. I am a little bit confused. Not that Modesty lost. I thought he actually played pretty well too. But the Guardian tech caught me off guard. I wonder if that's if the setup is that you have Ultras out and then you got these Guardians that can hit the other possible third bases, and you just try to basically like headlock them in that position until they start to run out of resources while you slowly expand out.
Yeah. Well, the thing about Guardians is they're so slow that oftentimes, even though their name is Guardian, they're used offensively to try to breach bases.
Yeah. They're kind of like this, a lot of times, this ambush push unit.
Yeah.
Where it's like, surprise, I got Guardians.
It's a big gotcha. Yeah. Because when you use them defensively, they're too slow to defend against things as mobile as dropship.
He was doing better with Mutas trying to deny drops and everything. Once you got the Guardians, I mean, just like Broodlords in StarCraft 2, a lot of times what you do is just go where the Broodlords are not. Yeah, so Mind has won game 1, but of course Modesty is not eliminated yet. Modesty will go to our losers match. That'll be in game 4, and Mind will be going into game 3, the winners match, meaning that he's only 1 win away from actually moving on to the next round here at the ASL.
Well, everything going according to plan so far, like you said. I think the biggest thing is that the next matchup will decide whether or not we get mirror matchups or keep this TVZ going. We're going to out to a quick commercial break. We'll be back with Light versus ggaemo.
오늘은 어떤 영화 볼까?
영화 관련 콘텐츠를 검색해 볼게요.
Always on AfreecaTV. Always on AfreecaTV.
당신이 내 동생 데리고 있어. 내 동생 어디로 팔아넘겼어?
그런데 네가 뭘 할 수 있을까?
뭔 더러운 짓을 해도 아무도 못 떠들게 하면 되는 거야.
나라는 내가 다 네 살다 이거.
Everyone should be happy at Christmas.
Not on my watch, you don't.
Ladies and gentlemen, we are
What are you?
There's a war raging on our planet.
Bumblebee, you must protect Earth and its people.
I didn't know. Is my mic on? Check, check. I did not know we were going to have that Transformers commercial play. That's too bad, because Dan would have been very excited to see some mech today, no matter what.
Well played.
Yeah.
Jesus, what are you? Oh my God.
I've come to turtle again, sir. So
the All-Terran. Yeah, we had a pretty cool game for game one. Kind of sets the tone for what to expect from our other matchups. It was a good kind of way to see our new player Modesty to the ASL, kind of showcase an interesting style. But I think Mind is what you're going to see is like the veteran players like Mind and Light gonna have a little bit of an advantage there, just like the veteran casters.
A little bit of an edge. It's an imbalanced matchup here with you and me. Yeah, so I'm kind of I'm very pleased to see that Mind's doing well. Now, ggaemo versus Light, I think Light is supposed to win this handily, right? I mean,
so Light is kind of an all or nothing kind of guy. It's unreal how much better he is at his good matchup than anyone else, but also how much worse he is at the other matchups. You watch Light play a TVT, like if both Terran players win here, I think you're going to really see how much better Mind is there, because Light is so good at TVC. At one point, he had the second best Zerg versus Terran, or Terran versus Zerg win rate in the world, next to I Love Oob. So just so good. Really looking forward to seeing him play here.
The only thing, though, Rapid, is that everybody knows how Light likes to play.
Oh, yeah.
He's kind of he's one of these players where he doesn't care if you know what he's going to do. He's going to do it. He'll probably beat you anyways, but there's always some sneaky, cheesy stuff he can do.
That's definitely true.
All right, what's the song? Hold on. I don't recognize it.
Shinseki. I don't know. I've never heard that song before.
Yeah,
Half the time these guys pick like Daft Punk or like
yeah. I'm always, or sometimes they have like
Green
original
Day
soundtracks
or,
of some game. Yeah.
Okay, I'm digging it. Good call there, Light.
I'm waiting for that weird twist where the song comes on and it's Insane Clown Posse, and I'm like, I did not see that coming.
What is this guys?
I did
pick,
not
like,
see that one coming.
Like Mr. Rogers' Neighborhood or something. I'm like, oh my
yeah.
God, bring it back here. That was Light. Don't believe those stats on the screen. This guy has a 6 storied history. In 2010, he was absolutely killing it. Even the first year, he made it to the semifinals of a tournament. So almost really close to being another possible Royal Roader. And this is another super old school player in ggaemo, who is, we talk about the other players who are famous for things. ggaemo is a little bit infamous. He's called O-Face or Gasp Zerg by a lot of Koreans because there's this one moment he was playing Up Magic and he ran Hydras into a mine and lost like 7 Hydras to 1 mine.
Yeah.
And then they do the Zuma Doom on his face and he's just like, doing that PogChamp face, but the sad version.
Yeah, the horrified PogChamp.
The PogChamp of unfathomable sadness.
Yeah. Yeah, man. I mean, I'm excited to see him down here, and I'm very curious what he's going to do against Light, because this is a very specific kind of Terran Berserk player.
You got to come with your A game.
Yeah.
Also, you got to know what he's going to bring to you.
Yeah.
Because while, like you said, Light is very good against Zerg, he is a little bit stale when it comes to the builds that he uses.
Okay, it's time. We're going into game number 2 now. Right now, Mind waiting in the Minners match. All right, forget about it. Forget this outro. Blah, 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 blah. Go, start the game. I had something epic to say, but it didn't come out. So, all right.
Now play.
We could be rock stars if we wanted to, Tasteless.
We are rock stars.
That's true.
People are like, their older stuff was better. I'm like, hey. Come on.
You're not wrong.
Yeah.
Okay. So this is Light, our red Terran player on the bottom right-hand side of blockchain. Busy mining his cryptocurrency there with his SCVs.
He's like, we don't need banks anymore, guys. As he mines the minerals in Bitcoin. He's like, oh my God.
Oh,
yes!
Here we go!
Yes! Okay.
All right.
Shh.
Be very quiet.
Be quiet. He's got a 4-pool.
Hunting Wascoey Terrans.
Some of these guys at home are like, he's not making drones. He forgot to make the drones.
He's such a bad player. How could he forget such a fundamental...
He forgot to make workers. He forgot to game about economy. Oh my God, he's 4-pool.
So this is as
drones.
down and dirty as it gets. But keep in mind, this is a 4-player map, right? And Overlords are slow. And you've only got 3 drones, so you don't drone scout. So you just got to, like, let Jesus take the wheel on this one.
Yeah, I mean, I guess that's right. Yeah, I hadn't thought about that. Yeah, on a 4-player map, you don't drone. There's got to be a trick. There's got to be some way. Because, I mean, ultimately what you want to do is just get the lings there.
Yeah.
Now, this is even worse. This is exacerbated by the fact that Light is making a command... a depot on the low ground.
Mm-hmm.
Obviously, he wants to set up to get an expansion. And...
Yeah, so the worst build to do against this 4-pool is a command center first. Because then you have nothing and you die.
Okay, so there is a drone scout. Okay,
yeah, so he is going to drone scout here. Obviously, it's a little bit later because you have to know the worst feeling in the world is sending a 4-pool of lings across the map to the wrong base. Then you just leave the game and, like, you just, I don't know, take a sad taxi home.
Two different strategies. Light wants to go into a more standard econ game. We're still waiting for that barracks. If not, it's going to be a command center here. And he wants to go into econ game.
Barracks.
And our Zerg player is just planning on catching an 11 o'clock movie tonight and getting out of here as quickly as possible.
Well.
Oh, no.
So he's looking for the Overlord. He's not going to see it there.
Oh, my God.
But he is delaying this Rex, and yeah, he's going to go for a command center here. This is terrible.
All right, Macro Terrans, you can cover your eyes if you want.
Oh, God. Oh, help me. Hold me, Tasteless.
Let's lean in here. What is his face going to look like? What is the moment where he's like, oh, okay. Oh, yeah, there it is.
Ah, there it is.
Okay,
there
he's like, wow.
Hey.
You just really want to win, don't you? You just really want to beat me in this game.
Like, wow, you must think you're so good. He's going to try to build this Rax, but good luck making that
he's
one
like,
happen.
Well, I know this trick where if I kill the SCV, the barracks stops making.
So I'm not sure what those SCVs are doing, but they need to be hitting the Zerglings.
Yeah, well, the thing is, he's trying to pull. Okay, no, what is this?
Oh, he's going to try to move to an island base because the Zerglings can't get there.
Oh, wow. Okay, yeah, that hadn't occurred to me. I mean, it makes sense now that I'm looking at it, but yeah.
I mean, it's not great, right?
Well, this can't be. Yeah, this won't work. These lings will kill that, right? Oh my God, he's going to try to kill the
so he's going
assimilators.
to kill the assimilators. This is really heads-up play.
This is really cool.
It is a move of desperation, right? He's not making anything right now. He's not mining anything. But the eggs are going to die super fast.
Now, okay, so he's spamming down attack over here. He's trying to make a wall, and he needs to get one of these assimilators. The eggs are going to go down. The first egg does go down, and there's a little bit less surface area over there to try to get on the other side.
And he's breaking through from the other side as well. So this is going to be a two-pronged attack here. The egg is actually taking so long to kill that I think the assimilators are going to go down. Now, you need to kill both assimilators because Zerglings can still fit through if there's only one dead.
But you can also try to get the
he glitched the Zergling through.
Oh, wow, beautifully done.
Oh, he can actually kill the Zergling. That was actually bad.
Well, I think the point is, as long as he's not attacking that assimilator and this thing goes down, it's probably fine. I mean, you're basically just trying to buy time. Even if he gets this walled off, I mean, these SCVs are not mining. Light's been sitting at 180 minerals for over a minute now.
I mean, I feel like maybe we're going to give Light the "you tried" medal at the end of this because he is pulling out a really interesting way to hold on, but he's not mining anything.
Yeah. Okay, so they come in, so he's attacking him there.
I mean, this concave is rough to get through with just single link.
He's gonna get that bunker up.
And you know, Game doesn't have a good economy.
I'm so impressed that he actually just did this, but I don't think it's going to matter.
Well, especially when Lings flood in from the other side. That's going to be
funny to think, too. Imagine that he had been at the upper right location to start. I mean, this could have been a very different game. I mean, this is quite convenient that the other way to get in is just over here, adjacent to the main base of
because
our Zerg.
Then you have to break through so many more eggs in order to get in there. It's just like, I don't know. Oh, man. All right, so this is the second walled-off passageway that's going to lose the egg. Obviously, there's no way to kill those assimilators in time. So Zerglings are going to get in.
Okay, so even though this was very exciting, there's now direct access here to this location. Also, it's on low ground here, so he could even get something up there on the high ground to hit that if he wanted to. There's so many ways that Zerg can finish this game. This would be one of the hardest.
Oh, he's going to go in there. The bunker. Is he going to finish? It does finish in time. So are there Marines in there? I don't think
one. There's one Marine.
There's one Marine. So that means that you can hold here as long as he doesn't take too much damage. And there's a bunker on the high ground, too.
This is one of the things that I think initially a lot of people think, oh, if the bunker gets up, you're fine. But it's still just one Marine, right? That doesn't kill Zerglings very quickly. And now the Lings are in between the bunker and the barracks, so I don't know what he's going to do, but it makes sense for Zerg to try to come down here and attack. Now, we never got a shot of the main base of Zerg, so I don't know.
Yeah, so we saw it there for a second. The economy is still way behind what it used to be, but we're trying to move on a little bit to the next phase of the game. And I think what ggaemo is trying to say is, yeah, I sacrificed a lot to get here, but I hurt you more than I hurt myself.
Oh, and he did. I mean, look at this. This is a disaster.
Those guys in the Stone Age.
Well, not only that. I mean, there's not even enough room to get all your depots and everything else up here. I mean, this is quite bad.
Oh, and he's actually going to lock Light into this area.
He's going to say, "You can play on an island. I'll be on the main part of the map." And these Marines are coming out here.
Can I just say,
yes,
Tasteless, it's so cool to see StarCraft be a game that is not balanced by patches, it is balanced by maps.
Yes,
because even though this mechanic has existed on other maps, like Troy is a big iconic example, this is thinking on your feet when you're playing against like the best players in the world. Like, and for Light to come up with this solution is really unique. For ggaemo to say, okay, well now what do we do? Where do we go from here is also really interesting. Now Light's trying to guard this assimilator just to make sure that he can move out of the base.
So, I mean, I'm actually quite delighted. I thought we were going to be already on commercials by now. When I saw those Lings come down there and hit, I thought, okay, well, that's it. And then I don't know why it didn't occur to me to float to the island, but yeah, I mean, he did it. And he's still alive. Now, there's also this weird pressure for the Zerg as well, where, like, after they go to the island, if you lose this, you're going to be so humiliated. So he's going to go, what, for the Spire here?
Yeah, so I think what he's going to say is, look, you're locked into this tiny base. There's no way you can build enough depots to survive and get any sort of economy up.
Right.
So as long as I have mutas and map control, you're just going to die a death of, I guess, starvation.
Yeah, I mean, he's basically going to have him locked in, sieged up around there. And this is going to be an uphill fight for Light to eventually try to reclaim a main, try to expand back where he started. Think about that, guys. Expand back to your starting location.
I heard you say that. I was like, man, Tasteless is really off today. But I'm like, no, that's actually where we are.
Yeah, no, it's like the weirdest thing to say. It's like, I just have to go reclaim my main base and start mining there, and I'm going to be okay. but that is what we're looking at. Now, due to the nature of the rush and what Light had to do to survive the rush, we're actually looking at a Terran on one base. One base builds are kind of, generally speaking, obsolete compared to any kind of build where you can get an expansion up. Doesn't mean you have to get the expansion up right away, but he's basically, he's using a build from 1998.
I mean, there's still only like 2-3 drones mining at the natural, so the economy's not great for either player, but ggaemo's getting double gas at this point, and that means that the Muta Tech is going to be really, really hard to deal with because, I mean, ggaemo, like, sure, he can build Marines, but eventually those just get picked off.
Yeah. Now, the game plan here for Terran is to try to eventually have enough to push out and go into the main, but, I mean, this is just too many
He's not even microing
him, man. Got Muta Micro from 1998. How about that? Everything's, just keep going.
Yeah,
back.
and there it is.
GG.
There's the GG.
All right. And Light
Damn.
with a salty smile on his face. Our Zerg player moves on and will now have to face off against Mine.
This is really interesting. So if the Terrans had just won, we'd have mirror matchups coming up. This is what I said at the end of the last game, is that if ggaemo wins here, now we get TVZs all day long. We really get to explore a lot of diversity in this matchup. And even our first two games just look so totally different on the same map.
It's all TVZs now. It's all Starship Troopers. It's all aliens. Let's do it.
I'm really excited for this. I think Light, it would have been hard to find people that vote for ggaemo in this matchup just because of how good Light is in this matchup. But somewhere, an evil Artosis is tenting his fingers, doing that Mr. Burns laugh.
That's
because
right.
he did lose to ggaemo, and now ggaemo is winning here, so that just justifies the loss even more. Like, well, if you lose to the guy that wins the tournament,
Yeah, exactly. Maybe it could have been Artosis winning here or pulling Light, moving on.
If it hadn't been for you pro gamers and your stupid dog, too.
All right, guys, we've got a break. When we come back, another TVZ. Don't go away.
대결을 시작하겠습니다. 블록체인에서 첫 번째 대결 시작됐습니다. 먼저 보이는 프로토스의 도재욱 선수예요. 여러 가지 수를 염두에 두고 경기를 펼쳐야 하는 도재욱 선수고요. 이에 맞선 노란색 적은 서문지훈 선수예요.
본진 파일런 본진 쪽에서도 게이트웨이를 건설을 하는 도재욱 선수의 모습이죠. 탱크의 처리. 게이트릭 10의 처리죠. 게이트웨이라든가 베럭스 이런 것들을 건설을 할 가능성이 높은데 본진 게이트 병력을 모아서 한꺼번에 몰아붙이겠다라는 생각을 서문지훈 선수가 하고 있거든요. 저글링 승부입니다. 다른 것도 없어요. 저글링 승부.
봤어요?
네. 자, 세번 쪽을 네 번째, 다섯 번째 질럿 나오기 전에 자 어거지로라도 뚫어야 되는데요. 어거지로
잡았어요, 질럿들이.
네. 투게이트웨이로 출발을 해서 질럿이 부족하진 않거든요. 가 올라갑니다.
그렇죠.
가스도 안 새고 있기 때문에 저글링으로 일단은 이 문을 계속해서 높아하는데 문이 안 열려요.
문이 초롱성이에요.
네.
아무리 두드려도 열리지 않습니다. 거기다 2단, 3단 보락이 갇혀져 있어가지고요.
네, 여기에서 계속 질럿들을 꾸준하게 이제 뽑아가면서
GG! 두 번째 매치를 시작하겠습니다. 테란 윤찬희 선수예요. 왼쪽 편 저그는 싹쓸이 이혜훈 선수예요.
8배럭이죠.
네.
실력 편차가 꽤 큰 선수 중에 하나입니다. 이혜훈.
선수 쪽 드론 전타 성공했고요.
지구인까지
선거지는 그것을 계속 찾아보려고 노력하고 있었거든요.
네.
자, 쫓아내야죠.
드론으로 뒤쪽에 내려오는 것은 좀 늦었습니다만 머리를 잘 컨트롤을 했고요.
거기다 일꾼까지 잡아내면서
싹들이 해버렸습니다.
시작을 하다 보니 좀 잘했죠. 자, 위에 병력은 저울링 정리가 됐고요. 넘어가 위에.
자, 뮤탈리스크도 체력이 일부 빠져있는 그 뮤탈리스크가 한 3개에서 4개 정도는 되기 때문에 쓰리가스 지역 쪽이 아니라 본진 공략을 우선 시도했습니다.
스터디가 있거든요.
자, 이게 빠른데 저 앞에 뮤탈 근처에 있었어요.
네, 여기서 드랍십 2기는 터져요.
네, 이게 한 번 들어가서 드랍십 2기의 병력이 만약에 올라가서 자리를 잡았으면 이 병력을 실어서 올릴 수도 있었거든요.
빠른 타이밍에
네.
왼쪽 벽으로 들어가거든요.
울트라 나왔고.
울트라.
자, 커널 쪽으로 일단은 숨었었던 병력이 깊숙하게 떨어지는 데로 성공을 했습니다.
그런데 반응이 너무 느린데요.
드론이 싹들이
여기
이런 상황이고요. 자, 플레이그
차가 묻혔어요.
네. 정면에서 출발하는 디파일러까지 만약에 있었으면은 지금 자 울트라
체력이 빠지긴 했지만
타이어 울트라 뒤에
체력 빠지기 아무 영향이 없어요.
체력 끊어먹네요.
검지역 쪽에
실제 경기 준비 끝났으면 여러분 뜨거운 박수로 승자전 매치를 시작하겠습니다. 16강으로 가는 승자전 대결 시작됐습니다. 먼저 보이는 프로토스 도재욱 선수고요. 왼쪽은 이혜훈 선수입니다.
잘 방향성이 되게 좋았었고 그리고 확장을 선택하는 데 있어서 넥서스 쪽은 먼저 출발을 했기 때문에 자원적으로 부족한 지나갔어요. 자 본진한 쪽에 오버로드.
여기
자 이제
나와야 돼요.
나와야 되는데 그 와중에 죽는 드론들 어쩔 수가 없죠.
안 썰어요.
네.
아무리 방어력이 높아도
이거 다크가
와, 한개 들어가서 열려 있다는 소식이 전해져서 한 개가 들어와서 4킬, 5킬.
그래도 여한이 없는 5킬까지 지금 만들어냈고요.
오늘 지키고 있는다는 거.
오늘 도재욱
현재까지 플레이를 보면은 이게 도재욱이야 김태경이야라는 생각이 들 정도로 주력이 빠져나갔는데 만약에 저게 올라갔던 히드라가 하이템플러에 막히고 지금은 아래쪽으로 내려갔었던 질럿에 의해서 해처리들이 터지고 이렇게 되면 공격 가는 게 후회가 되는 거죠.
그렇죠. 여기 템플러 3개가 있기 때문에요.
선택을 해야 돼요. 지금 나갔었던 병력이 들어올 거냐 아니면 지금 그 멀티 지역 쪽으로 완벽하게 마비시킬 거냐. 그 와중에 압박전 이거 발음 못하죠. 발음 못해요. 발음 못해요. 발음 못합니다. 너무 죽습니다. 그리고 신경 쓸 게 너무 많아요. 이혜훈이.
싹쓸이를 당해버리면 안 되는 입장이었는데 14킬
15킬.
여기는 드라곤 중심이라 하나하나 철거는 잘하고 있고요. 공격돼 있습니다.
업그레이드도 너무 잘 됐고
21K 완벽한 경기로 승리를 따내면서 16개 올라가는 도재욱.
ASL Season 7. Break the frame.
Break that frame.
Ready to break the frame, Tasteless?
I don't want any frames unbroken. Okay, so welcome back to the ASL. We are going to go into the winner's match, and here we will discover which player survives in Group D first.
Yeah, so a lot on the line here. Obviously, both of our players want to win. I think it's still a little bit surprising there from ggaemo. Interestingly enough, he said in his interview that, so they used to call him Military J-Dong because he was really good when he was bad before, and then he joined Air Force Ace, the Army's military team, and then he got really, really good kind of suddenly, and so they're like, wow, this is Military J-Dong. And so he said he was talking to J-Dong, like asking him for strats, and J-Dong giving him some good strats to try. And then he like 4 pulls on the map of like 6 strat J-Dong. Man, you really helped him out there.
All right, so he totally sucker punched Light here. Moving on, and hey, it worked.
Yeah.
I've been talking about this in these best of ones. It's like, well, you just have to win one game.
Your strategy can be as terrible as anything, but if you win the game, that's all that matters.
Well, the thing as well is that, it's not like, Light has any time to adjust right now.
Yeah.
He has to go face off against another player, so maybe we're going to have something similar again here from our Zerg. I don't know. I don't know what to expect.
Well, the biggest change is that we're going to move on to Whiteout for game number 3, so let's do it. Mine versus ggaemo.
Fight until you die by the pain of the one you hate.
I think it's the women you hate.
No, it's not, but it sounds like that.
Now playing in Whiteout.
Very
Very
sexist song.
I cannot believe that we would
offended.
allow such terrible tragedy to happen here.
Okay, let's go. Game 1. All right, so we've got Zerg in the top right, and we've got Terran in the top left. Now, we're going to see this in a little bit, but I just want to point it out as we start this game off. There's a whole area when you get outside of your main where it's like your vision is really impeded, which can make for some interesting tricks. I get really excited whenever you have a chase sequence happen there where it's like, okay, maybe the... keep in mind that in StarCraft 1, a unit, there's like a how do I say this? There's like a stream of vision, right, when it's moving. And you can see behind yourself a little bit further than you can see in front of yourself until you stop, and then that vision kind of stops, surrounds the unit. So that's something to keep in mind as well here when we see that, it seems like the person who's running away sometimes going to have the opportunity to try to whip around and do an attack.
Well, the most important thing we were seeing right there is that ggaemo's building drones this time. So we're not going to have another 4-pool, none of those shenanigans. Hopefully this will be a little bit more standard. So the map is Whiteout. And yeah, what you are alluding to, Tasteless, is that it's a 3-player map, and 3 spaces in the middle have line of sight blockers in the form of trees. It turns out I think Artosis was actually telling me that it's the panels on the ground that block the line of sight blockers, the trees are
Yeah,
actually just there to remind you.
Yeah, I know. I didn't know. Yeah, he was the one that pointed that out. I had not realized.
It's kind of cool.
It's one of these things with StarCraft 1 where a lot of the StarCraft 1, actually PUBG as well as another example, is games that are buggy can actually still be esports and be very competitive. It's like these weird features about the game where it's like, oh, actually this is kind of this could be kind of adds a new little element to the game.
Yeah. Well, if you think back to a lot of the old UMS, like use map settings,
Right.
kind of custom maps for StarCraft and Warcraft 3, a lot of the cool UMS maps were enabled by just weird things in the map editor that you could exploit to do crazy stuff. You look at backwards ramps, right? Like those weren't in the editor, but
Look how
people had
scary
to hack
that
it in
is.
there. Oh, it's
That drone moving through there. I'd be so scared, man. I'd be scared that the Bigfoot or something's going to get me.
Dude, I remember reading this nursery kind of rhyme book as a kid, and there's the dark, scary wood, and there are these like evil monsters that live in there, and then like one of the good like little mouses or whatever gets lost. You have to go rescue it. It was pretty scary for me as a 2-year-old, but it kind of gives me some flashbacks there. It was a
I just
bad
wonder
time.
if the SUV's running through there holding a handy cam like the Blair Witch Project. They're like, we're so scared.
Little Red Riding SCV.
Yeah. Okay. Spawning pool still on the way here. Again, ggaemo's going for very standard opening. We have no idea what that tech's going to be. It's going to be a little bit. And there's a third hatch. Okay. So that's one of the big, as far as ordinary openers. Oh, denied. That was
gas steal. Man, that drone looked like it was building the gas at the exact same time.
You actually don't see that often. That's kind of cool that he did that.
Yeah, I mean, obviously it's not as good as Terran as like Protoss because the assimilator,
right?
For some reason, gets more HP than the other ones. He gets it again. It's the Edgelord SCV.
Oh, that was great.
No gas.
This is
for
actually
you.
really annoying because you do need to get your gas up.
Yeah, the Beano SCV.
So this is a great example of mine just kind of looking at this situation, and he's got such a good game sense. He says, you know what? Boom.
Watch him take it again.
No, there's no way. Oh, no, actually, he's already taken his other gas.
Yeah.
But it's even more annoying, right? Because there's not as many drones down there. I mean, this looks like it's very subtle. It's actually very annoying at top levels.
Oh, it definitely is, especially since you have to like reposition, and now your gas is in your natural. You can't like, sometimes that'll make it more vulnerable. I don't think that'll happen here.
I mean, if you go, even if you're just practicing.
No way he finds this. Mind is
he's
so good.
He's memorized all the hiding locations.
He's even got a third Marine down here. Now, one of the quickest ways to lose the game is losing your first 2 or 3 Marines out on the map. But there's no kind of high ground for this Overlord to get to, so he just loses it. Wow, sick play by Mind.
So, I mean, this is like already going disaster-usly. I don't know why that came out weird. This is already horrible for sure.
The level of disasteritude is high.
This is like a disaster film right now, okay?
It's like, what was it, Geostorm? Did you
Yeah.
see that movie? I watched it on the airplane because I didn't have anything else to watch. The worst movie
Really?
I've ever seen. It's basically worse than Sharknado. It's like, what
No,
crazy...
but that's different because Sharknado is like fantastically bad. That's like Troll or Troll 2,
this
where
is
it's like
unfantastically bad,
Yeah.
the most unfantastic way.
Well, this is one of these disaster movies. We have to have a whole situation where inside the Zerg base there was one drone trying to warn everybody. He knew,
but they wouldn't listen.
They wouldn't listen. You know.
Yeah. Drones.
There has to be. This also requires a very arrogant general that is shutting down that drone.
That's right.
You don't know.
The old people in leadership don't believe the young up-and-coming scientists.
No one knows how to catch our overlords. And then, kind of goes from there. There's probably some weird romance story that is not really interesting, but is for some reason kind of written into the story as well.
It's just so that they can cast Megan Fox at one point.
That's right. That's right. We need to get Megan Fox here. So I don't know. You guys have to run away from the volcano or whatever. I don't know. Okay, so Mind is coming here now with this SCV. He's doing a little bit of scouting. He's going to see that spire up there.
Yeah, the biggest thing is you want to see what the next level of tech is. And so most likely you're going to see Modesty here. But yeah, if there's wacky lurkers on the way or something, seeing that's a big deal. And there's 5 racks on here. Now, on Blockchain, the previous map, the third base is safe enough so that +1 5 racks is not very common. But on this map, because if you have a giant bio ball, you don't care if there's a trap in the dark, scary woods. You can just bulldoze across the map and kill the guy.
5 racks Marine is really it's tough. I mean, you're basically coming out with a very strong army. I don't want to say that you're parking development, but I mean, you're basically going to be just making this stuff for a little bit and squeezing out a few more SCVs. And the Terran has to be, the Zerg, excuse me, has to be very careful. Because it's hard, you're not going to be killing, as a Zerg, a 5-Rax Terran anytime soon. I mean, it's very clear that Mind is telling everybody, I am most interested in doing damage in the mid game here. We don't see starports coming down here.
But the balance of power really shifts over the course of ZBT.
Right.
Because, you know, when you have Marines out on the map and speed finishes for Lings, the Marines are total garbage. You have no power or map control as a Terran player. You got to get out of there. But then, once you finish Stim and you get medics, then all of a sudden Zerglings are really useless in similar numbers. So you got to pull back, and then you wait for like mutas and lurkers, and then you start to get really good again. But basically, the Zerg wants to just hold on until defilers and third bases happen. And if you can get there, you're feeling good. But you have to find a way to do that, and mutas are kind of an enabler.
So those mutas are going to come in now. Now note that the army is leaving on the map. Do we have the defense? 5 racks, you can kind of come out and defend a little bit, but if these Lings actually get up here, oh my god.
Oh
what is he doing? What does he do? What are these Lings doing? Get the fuck up there.
Do anything.
Okay, he did it. Yeah, you can actually take this out, and now the Terran is going to die in the main, but there's this big attack coming up here.
Oh, he doesn't have Sunkets in time! They're all morphing, but if he hits before the Sunkets finish, he can actually just win the game right here. Now, 2 Sunkets are down. He's going to try to bring the drones up to block, but actually, it looks like the medics are not in the front. You want to have the medics healing the Marines there, so actually, there's quite a bit of this bio dying.
I think he's got enough. I think he's got enough.
This is so close! Oh my god, I think he's going to do it. If these Sunkets die, then he's just like, I think he basically loses the game.
Hold on, how many mutas are left though?
There's 4 mutas left at this point. 3? No, there's 4. Yeah, there's 4 right there. So 4 mutas left, and he can't make any more Marines. So I think this is basically what you see is what you get.
Okay, so he's doing a lot of damage here. Now these mutas, I think, will have to go back and help defend, right? He's going to get the Spire. That's going to be it for the Mutalisks.
I mean, he's going to lose everything back home if he doesn't send the mutas back.
Well, he's trying to buy time. The thing is, he's trying to kill as many of these workers as possible. Hold on. Okay. Mind coming up here now.
Yeah. Time is expensive, Tasteless. I don't know. That's the drone trail of drone tears there.
I think Mind wins this game.
Yeah, I mean, there's nothing else that you can do here.
He's got this.
He's going to try to defend the drones with the mutas, but eventually you can just keep making Marines.
Well, the thing is that there's like even these turrets and this other little stuff over here. Like this is actually much dead.
This is that Husky StarCraft moment where you lift your barracks up and float them to the island. But no, that's it. GG. Mind is going to be the first player to advance out of this group. A little bit of a tense moment there at the end.
Very tense. I mean, John was standing, he was jumping up and down,
on
watching
his tippy
the game.
toes. He was so excited.
He was screaming, "Look out, Mind!"
Mind's my favorite player. I really want him to win.
Yeah. I mean, John's gonna have a hard time not being biased when he translates this interview for our winner. I mean,
you can make him say such cool stuff.
All right. Mind is eventually gonna mosey on over to our interview section, and then we're gonna get to see how he's
finish
feeling.
Swishing the water around in his mouth there. That's
he's
what
like, I should have four-pooled. I should have four-pooled.
That's what Jaedong told him to do, man.
I four-pull him, kill him. He can't get those medics out in time. Those seem to be very strong. They heal the Marines.
Well, Gaemo's the guy that lost everything to Spider Mine, so as long as he wins before those come out, he's good.
All right.
Here we go.
Yep, we got that interview ready, so let's go ahead and see how Mind is feeling now that he is the first player to advance out of Group D here in the ASL.
We have our first advanced round of 16 in Group D. We're here with Mind. Congratulations. Thank you. Recently, you've been doing really well against Zerg, and you proved again that you're a strong player against Zerg. How do you feel now? The group had 2 Zergs. Many people expect me to advance. Of course, I couldn't guarantee that, but I felt I could do it. And I'm really glad that I made it
저그전에
through.
대한 자신감이 아무래도 뒷받침이 됐기에도 이런 결과가 있지 않을까 하는 생각이 드는데 오늘 2명의 저그 다 상대할 거라고 좀 생각을 하셨나요?
Did you expect to play against both Zergs today?
승자전 왠지 올라올 것 같았는데
I expected Light to make it to winner's match.
저는 1경기 할 때 서플 완성되고 원래 이제 노베럭 더블 해야겠다 생각은 하고 서플 짓고 이제 들어가는데 근데 왠지 4드론 할 수도 있을 것 같은데 했는데 그냥 저는 했거든요. 참 저는 뭐 게임이 좀 잘 풀리는 것 같아요.
오늘도 이렇게
I mean, I had feeling that I might get 4-pulled also, so I went without
아무래도 김현우 선수가
I
지난
went barracks, straight barracks without supply, and
테란전투에서도 가디언을
somehow
활용하는 모습을
I got lucky.
보여줬던 적이 있거든요. 그 경기를 혹시 보셔서 이렇게 데뷔를 하신 건가요?
일단 뭐 현우 스타일은 워낙에 굉장히
Did you watch Modesty's like past
맵이
games?
좀 변수가 많아서
Took
저는
notes?
좀 고민이 많았어요. 맵이
네.
I'm familiar
어떻게 하는 게 제일
with
좋을까
Modesty's
고민하다가
style,
했는데 아무래도
but the
조금
map was the variable.
현우도 실수를 했던 것 같아요. 그 드랍십을 잡으려다가 못 잡아서
Modesty
거기서
made
제가
few mistakes
좀
himself.
신경을
He
썼던 것 같아요.
almost got that dropship, but he wasn't able to, and I think
상대가 타이밍으로 뮤탈로
proved to be
본진을
crucial.
왔거든요.
네.
근데 그대로 전진된 병력을 뚫는 선택을 하셨어요, 성큼마트.
네.
이런 판단은
So
좀
on your
자신감에서
match against ggaemo, ggaemo started building sunken
처음에 이제 오버를 잡고 시작해서
colonies, but you still pushed.
유리해서 좀 편하게 했던 것 같아요. 만약에
In the beginning, I managed to stall his gas, and I knew I was ahead. And so that's why I went with the push. But if not for that initial gas stall, I think the result would have been otherwise.
기대해봐도 될 것 같은데요.
텐션 뭐 제가 텐션 이렇게 높은
You seem really on high tension. I think we can expect more exciting games from you in round 16.
나올 수 있을지.
I don't tend to have high tension.
시청자분들이 하기에 따라서 제가 또 변하지
아,
않을까.
네, 시청자분들이 하기에 따라서
Depending on how the viewers react, I guess I could change.
조련할 줄 아시네요, 또 박성균 선수가. 오늘 이렇게 24강에서는 저그전만을 치렀기 때문에 16강에서는 또 좀 만나고 싶은 종족도 있으실 것 같아요.
So you only play against Zerg today. Is there any specific race you want to play against in round 16?
많이 지긴 하는데 저는
Recently, I've been losing much against
만나도 상관없다
Protoss, but I don't mind playing either Protoss or Zerg.
연습만 잘하면
As long as I can practice well, I don't care who I play against.
ASL 시즌 7 16강에 임하는 각오까지 들어보겠습니다.
And your thoughts
16강 와서 너무 좋고
on making it to round 16?
보다는 그래도 더 높이 올라가야 되니까.
Yeah, I'm really glad I made it to round 16, but of course my goals are higher than that.
또 많은 분들이 이렇게 미션도 많이 주셨어요. 저한테 이제 팬분들이
many fans have given me mission like make it to round of 8 or round of 4.
해주셔갖고 제가 더 열심히 해서 팬분들 기대에 부응하는 그런.
And I would like to meet their expectation.
네, 강한 동기부여로 또 좋은 모습 보여주시기를 기대하겠습니다. 인터뷰 고맙습니다.
감사합니다.
자, 이렇게 해서
Excellent
24강 기조의
translations,
가장
as always. That's why they call him not John the Juggler.
Not John the Interpreter.
That's right. It's John the Translator.
And
we're going to break.
translate he did.
We'll be right back.
패자는 대결을 시작하겠습니다. 먼저 보이는 테란 윤찬희 선수예요. 왼쪽은 서문준 선수입니다.
그렇죠. 한기를 그냥 찍어놓은 상태에서 올리는 것이 아니라 일단 스킬 개발을 먼저 하겠다라는 의미이긴 한데 그에 대한 대비로 지금 선수
뮤탈리스트에 대한 수비 이런 것만 지금은 하면 된다라는
네,
생각인데
위로.
자, 위로 뒤집어 아이고
걸렸습니다. 한개
뛰었어요. 이후에 빅토리 거의 다 아머리까지 올라가면서 상대의 트랜서리 체크에 대해서 골리앗으로 대처를 해가면서 가난한 상태다라는 것은 뭐 변함이 없으니까요. 타이밍도 빠를지 모르겠지만
걸어다니면서 이 기차를 쫓아가야 되는데 이런 경로를 어느 정도 좀 파악하려는 듯한 벌초의 움직임이 좀 보이고 있죠.
탱크로 시자들은 막으면 되거든요.
네.
자, 중간에 나가는 거 일단 발견했습니다.
예, 지금은 그 시야 확보 싸움이 지속적으로 이어진 상태였었거든요. 예, 뮤탈리스트 위치를 파악하려고 했었는데 이게 결국에는 히드라의 그 위치 자체는 들키지 않았어야 되는 건데
네.
봤어요.
예, 그래야 골리앗이 본진 쪽에 가 있죠.
그렇죠. 자, 넓은 무리에서
뚫어버리네요.
네.
어퍼를 가리는 데 실패했어요, 대록이.
네.
자, 살아남아야 됩니다. 병력 뚫어버려야 되는 서문준 선수고요.
네, 뮤탄스크는 일단은 뭐 힘을 못 쓰긴 합니다만 이 히드라로 골리앗 줄여서 탱크 포함되기 전에
언덕 골리앗 뭐 하나요?
자, 위에서 탱크가 돌고 있었고요. 히드라 계속 찍어서 보내야 됩니다. 앞바람까지 날리는 상태. 어쨌든 자원이 많이 들어가는 그 테란의 메카닉 체제이기 때문에 앞바람 쪽에서 가스를 못 캐게끔 그리고 앞바람 쪽이 돌아가지 못하게끔 만드는 게 중요하거든요.
네.
다시 모아서 왔습니다.
좀 붙이면서 술인데 점사를 하나 정리하고요.
네.
자, 나오는 병력 가지고 지금 이 병력을 좀 막아보려고 애를 쓰고 있는데
골리앗의 방어력 업그레이드를 바탕으로 SCB로 계속 리페어해서
네, 줄어요.
예, 재사용 지금은 하고 있고 입구 쪽에 이제 히드라도 나오는 흐름 자체가 좀 끊겼습니다. 근데 앞쪽에 모여 있는 히드라 자체는 많지 않은 이런 그 상황이라서 골리앗을 모아서 또 리페어할 만한 시간은 있습니다.
그러니까 벙커를 수리한 데는 실패했던 FTV인데 골리앗만큼은 살려야 됩니다.
그렇죠.
일꾼이 있어서 여기서 바리케이드 쳐주고 소리까지도 이어가는 상황이거든요.
추가 골리앗이 계속 나왔고 또 리페어할 만한 시간을 주면은 여기서 다시 히드라 이 정도 먹었고 어느 정도 부대 단위로 히드라로 달려들어야겠다 마음 먹는 순간에 죽지 않은 골리앗들은 결국 리페어가 되고 있는 이런 상황이거든요.
가스가 남는데 이 가스를 활용할 데가 없습니다. 지금 뮤탈 뽑기에도 늦었고요.
지금 골리앗 개체수가 계속 늘어나고 있거든요.
네, 그렇기 때문에 히드라로
밀리네요.
승부를 보고자 노력을 했었는데 이제는 뭐
이혜연 선수냐 윤찬희 선수냐 경기를 끝났습니다. 여러분의 뜨거운 박수로 최종전 대결을 시작하겠습니다. 테란 윤찬희 선수예요. 이에 맞선 적은 싹쓸이 이혜연 선수입니다.
올인성 그 전략에 대한 그 대비 자체도 아예 안 해버렸거든요. 뭔가?
네. 일꾼 올라가면서 확인합니다. 레오테크 타이밍까지 봤어요.
자, 레어테크까지 확인시켜 준 이후에 테크를 취소하고 바꿨어요. 앞선 경기와 비슷하게 가는 척 하다가 자, 말을 바꿨습니다.
자, 벌써 빨리 뛰어나가서 감 가야 되는데요.
아까보다 타이밍이 훨씬 빠르죠. 뮤탈을 레어를 가서 드론도 이제 안마랑 쪽에 붙이고 그리고 나서 스파이어를 짓고 이후에 날아오는 뮤탈이 어느 정도 활동을 하다가 히드라로 넘어가는 게 아니라 바로 저울링에는 히드라거든요. 그러면은 팩토리도 많지 않고 지금 골리앗도 뽑으려고 하는 그 순간에 히드라가 들어올 거란 말이죠.
그렇죠. 링드라거든요.
네.
저울링이랑 히드라.
자, 여기서
컨트롤 집중할 수밖에 없는데 자, 히드라 머리는 하나였어요. 벙커도 없지.
네, 가난한 상태에서의 히드라 강제 공격이기 때문에 이거는 뭐 이후에 이혜훈 선수가 돌아갈 길도 없다고 지금 봐야 될 것 같아요.
들어야 되는 이혜훈 선수거든요.
네, 자 이제 가야죠.
1번 타이밍 들어갑니까 여기서?
네, 만만치 않거든요.
네.
자 위에서 저울링 던지고 뒤에서 히드라가 정찰.
근데 SCV가 돌았어요.
이게 수리가 지금 안 됐거든요.
너무
뚫려.
히드라의 양이 올해 너무 많은 양이 살아 있게 되면은 이후에 추가되는 팩토리.
이러면 뚫어버린 이혜훈 선수가 생애 최초로 16강에 올라옵니다.
ASL Season 7. Break the frame.
Welcome back to the ASL. We're going to go to our fourth game of the night. It's going to be Light versus Modesty. Light robbed in the last game that he played, getting 4-pulled when he was going for a very quick expand build.
Yeah, and I feel like he reacted pretty cleverly to that, trying to float to the island base and play out the rest of the game instead of just capping out because he was so build order countered there. But he was able to use these unique maps to his advantage, and now we have another chance to watch this on another very unique map, Whiteout, which should go much differently than the last time.
Yeah, well, I would imagine so, right?
No way he 14 CCs here again.
Maybe, I don't know, maybe he does. The thing is, like, I can't imagine that Modesty's got a 4-pull, but
yeah.
Modesty
Or
had kind of a long,
you?
Yeah, I mean, I don't know.
I don't know. It is a little bit of a coin flip here, but after you lose a game that terrifyingly, you gotta come with a better strategy. So let's get into game 4, our losers match.
Fight until you die by the pain of the one you hate. And the reason of the game.
Now play in Whiteout.
Did you ever actually use Whiteout?
I remember when Whiteout was all the rage because the highest level of technical ability to write was a pen.
Yeah.
But then we had computers and printers, and then
People would, I remember like just seeing this stuff. People would like, my classmates would like white out something and then write over. I'm like, just scribble it out. Like I would just scribble the word out and just like continue writing the word.
Well, also like how much of a tragedy is it, and why are you like so committed to writing this with a pen instead of a pencil? I don't know.
Yeah.
I don't know. I feel like it looks much worse when you white something out here. Also,
yeah,
like,
right? Doesn't it look worse on the paper? It's like.
Also, like the idea of whiteout is that you're covering something up, so the map not only has white snow on it, but you're also covering things up with the line of sight blockers. So I'm just like, I see what they were trying to do here. But
yeah. No,
I don't know if they really.
I just meant whiteout in general. I'm not a fan of whiteout.
No.
Like if you come to my house, you're like, hey Nick, do you have some whiteout? I would be like, excuse me?
Yeah, no, this map was sponsored by...
Do I look like a guy who has whiteout? Like, do I look like a guy?
You look like a whiteout kind of guy.
No, absolutely not.
Wow, I really misjudged
I'm like,
that
what
one.
about a bunch of dirty socks? Do you want that? That's my
Well,
house
in order
right?
to get more money into the Brood War scene, we decided to let Bic sponsor a map. And so we named it Whiteout after the only thing they sell next to pens.
And razors, my friend.
Oh,
Big
yeah.
Razors. And
because those
lighters.
are complimentary goods.
And lighters.
What are they, like Philip Morris? I don't know.
Yeah, man, that's one of those companies where like, we just make all the basic
All
things
the
that
things.
everybody uses.
Sick. All right, we're coming for you next, Johnson & Johnson.
Okay, so Light is, waiting to see if he's going to make that barracks, or is he going to do any kind of quick, fast
If he goes for another fast expand, like, I mean, that just takes a lot of guts. Because then if you also lose to a 4-pool, you are just that much more devastated. But I don't think we're going to see anything aggressive. Of course, we as omniscient observers.
Oh my God, he's going to do it. He's saving up. He's going to get a command center. Yeah, look at this guy. Look at this guy. I can't believe it. But I mean, you know, I think Modesty had the same mindset that we had. Like, no one's gonna do fast CC over and over again. But, wow.
Yeah. So this is very, very interesting to see, and thankfully he's not going to be punished, and also thankfully it's bad scouting direction for Modesty. He's going to see him last, and so that means that Light's about as safe as he could be doing this build.
Okay. SCV coming out now. Zerg has got no confirmation on, well, he knows the location, but he doesn't know what's being built over there. Just look how dark it is. My glasses, I forgot my, I found it.
The night is dark and full of, well, I guess, trees and SCVs and stuff.
He got something stuck in his eye.
I think Light is building his command center on the high ground, so that's sort of the compromise. It's like, well, it's not as unsafe as just building it on location, but it's going to take a while to float it out there. So, yeah, we'll see what's going on when it comes to scouting information. He sees the lings. He kind of knows the build up until now. And Light's going to realize this time he will actually get to play things out instead of just being kind of castrated early on.
So, Modesty is getting a layer incredibly quickly. We see some more barracks coming down here for Light. Now, like we've mentioned before, I mean, if you do go for a quick command center, and you get away with it, you're in very good shape in the mid game against the Zerg. It's very tough for
look at that.
Hang on.
One little Zergling squeaks through. I guess that is not tight on the left-hand side. It's a little bit interesting, but it's going to get in here and whoa. Oh, the Marines lose straight up to just about every unit.
It's like any unit can basically kill them. Now, there's some more lings coming down here, but is it going to be enough? Oh, wow, he went Hydrogen. Okay.
Oh, this is really sneaky.
Yeah, now, so this game should actually be quite short here. What Modesty wants to do is try to make a big attack over here in the front.
Oh, and try to deny scouting at the same time.
Yeah.
Really good catch on the SCV. One of the things Flash does is he makes sure he like double, triple scouts just because information is so valuable. Because otherwise, this happens to you.
So whenever you see 2-hatch and then with a layer and then you know what's weird about this? He keeps trying to come out. I think he thought there might be mass lings out here.
So
when in fact, there's a different threat coming his way.
You got to scout for as many different options as you can because you're checking things off the list or you're scratching them off. You're like, okay, is it this build? Is it this build? Is it this build? And right now, 2-hatch Lurker is actually on the menu of possibilities. So maybe Light's starting to figure that out. And this is where we see the optical flare. Not really.
Oh, wow.
But that is one thing you can do. If it's 1-hatch Lurker and they try to run their one or two Lurkers,
do that,
you optical flare it and you win the game. They're so sad.
Yeah, you could tag that one Lurker and they're like, oh my god.
Yeah. I'm just kind of memeing. Nobody uses that spell.
No, I can't, but I've seen it actually done.
If you did, that's why you would.
Okay.
Or maybe on observers, I think sometimes too. But anyway, here we go. These are the Hydras moving out across the map, and eventually a few of those will morph to Lurkers.
Right.
And Light still doesn't know. Light's like Scotty.
Yeah. He might suspect it, but yeah, he doesn't know for sure. So let's keep in mind the way that Lurkers deal damage, they can kill the SCVs repairing the bunker if there's enough of them.
They can also,
and the bunker is usually the thing that's actually allowing the Terran to kind of feel safe and secure here.
Yeah, well, I mean, it's the only thing that keeps them safe and secure. Without that bunker, you just run the Lurkers all the way in and
a scan
kill
here. Scan here, he sees no drones.
Oh,
That
no drones.
immediately signals that something's about to happen.
Yeah, so he's going to build a second bunker, and he's going to realize, look, I just have to hold on. Living is all that matters here. And he sees the lurkers. They're going to run up. They're going to burrow there. He's not going to have that one scan he used to scout this out, and he's not going to be able to hold the front bunker. It's going to die, and all the Marines inside might die too. Yep, there they go. The spine's down. There's no bunkers up behind it. One does finish at the last second, but there's no Marines inside it. There's no Marines at all, and everything's dying in the Ling follow-up.
Oh my God, he did it. If he could just get over to where the the barracks are, yeah, that's going to be it. He got there.
GG.
This is game. Light got cheesed out twice. One of the best Terran versus Zergs of all time.
He's going to be, oh my God, you have to be so sad here because he once again went for that economic start, and now he's losing everything. GG. Light taps out, and Modesty eliminates one of the best TVZ players from ASL.
6-minute game. Wow, look at Light. He's like, what the hell just happened to me?
Yeah, I think Artosis actually said this, that Light is good in this matchup, but he plays the same way all the time.
Yeah.
14 CC over and over again, and he got punished every single time.
You got to have a variety of builds. That's how you become a multi-time champion, you know? And despite Light being so dominant, wow, look at the disappointment. I mean, it is palpable.
You know, he made it to the round of 16 the first time he qualified in Season 2, and he's never made it there again since. He's a mainstay. He's been in every season of ASL and KSL since Season 2, but he struggles to advance, in part because his style kind of gets figured out. So congratulations to Modesty, a newcomer here to the ASL, and he's already well on his way to advancing.
That's right, but we're not done yet. We've still got one more match. It's going to be a ZVZ. What?
Oh my.
Not a TVZ? Well, let's see what happens with this one. ZVZ, generally a very short matchup. Anything can happen.
Yeah.
This is definitely a day where we saw that Cheese overcame standard play.
Yeah, we really kind of busted out our, we had different kinds of cheese all over the place. But
right.
Our last match is Modesty versus ggaemo, so don't go anywhere. It's coming up.
오늘은 어떤 영화 볼까?
영화 관련 콘텐츠를 검색해 볼게요.
Always on AfreecaTV. OLED TV.
당신이 내 동생 데리고 있어. 내 동생 어디로 팔아넘겼어?
그런데 네가 뭘 할 수 있을까?
뭔 더러운 짓을 해도 아무도 못 떠들게 하면 되는 거야.
나라는 내가 다 네 살다 이거.
Everyone should be happy at Christmas.
Not on my watch, you don't.
Ladies and gentlemen, we are
What are you?
There's a war raging on our planet.
Bumblebee, you must protect Earth and its people.
ASL Season 7. Break the frame.
Consider it broken, ASL voice.
One final frame left to break, Tasteless. The last match of the night. I think maybe not the one that people would have expected. It's going to be a ZVZ here. Both ggaemo and Modesty have made it all the way to the end.
Very exciting stuff. Z versus Z. Yes, I mean, okay, I'm glad. I mean, I was actually really enjoying our TVZs. I feel like today's been going really fast, but ZVZ guys, it all comes down to the Zergling and the Mutalisk.
Yeah.
And how do you balance it? Scourge, Overlords, Drones, of course, yes, but it's all about balancing. And
Yeah.
you're trying to keep on your feet and trying to throw them off.
It is a balancing act. It's like both players are on the trapeze, and if you lose the Zergling battle early, then you get pushed off.
Yeah.
There's no net
There's no
underneath.
net. There's
you
no
just
net.
die.
It's actually Mortal Kombat spikes down there. It's horrible. It's inhumane. And this is going to be on match point.
Yeah, this is a weirder map. It's actually not the map that I thought it was going to be, but it's still very interesting. So let's get into our last game of the night.
Now playing in match point.
No tears for this one.
Really quiet. Everybody's just sitting in the audience with their arms crossed. I hate ZVZ. No, I want a TVT. I want another TVZ. No.
No.
Not today.
You gotta mix it up a little bit.
So Modesty in the upper right, making ggaemo down here in the bottom left. ZVZ again, a matchup that you lose a few extra lanes and the game will spiral out of control.
Yeah.
This is the matchup that is most similar to those. Remember American Gladiators where they would fight with those Q-tips, those big Q-tip things?
Oh yeah, like
and try to knock each other off.
with the sock and boppers on the end.
Is that what they're called? Sock and boppers?
Well, those are the ones you put on your hand. They're more fun than a pillow fight.
Yeah, no, but this is one where they have like the stick and it's got like pillows on either end and they're wearing these comically large helmets.
Yeah, I used to do that with my little brother. He just didn't get one of those sticks. I was the only one with those.
Yeah,
nice. it was super fun.
Yeah, nice.
So yeah, this is a ZVZ. Back when Modesty was on STX Seoul, he was a ZVZ mastermind. So good in that matchup. Had some insane Pro League rating back in the day. In the current era, I feel like I only ever get a chance to see him play ZVT. It's the only matches he played offline since.
Right.
So this is actually kind of new territory for me watching him do this.
So we've got the quick pull here for Modesty. We're going to check in on ggaemo in a little bit. Extractor coming down now. That is it's called the drone trick.
Yeah.
You make the extractor, make an extra drone, and then you cancel it, so you're at 10 of 9 supply.
Yeah, and that is an argument as old as time. Does that actually save you resources? I think the end result is that, yes, it is technically a little bit faster, but it's not a necessity.
Right, yeah, well, it kind of depends on what kind of build you're going for
Ooh,
here, too.
and look at this. This is going to be a 9-pool with Drone Trick versus a 12 hatch, I believe. Yeah, so ggaemo is getting the massively better economy here, but it's all about can you hold that expo.
Now, these, with no gases yet, there's not going to be any Ling speed. Lings with speed will always beat Lings without speed. Which I know that some people might be like, why is that? Because you know, you would think, well, don't they just get to the fight faster and then they're both Zerglings? No. Actually, because of the speed upgrade, they kind of they get the early hit on there.
Yeah, so it doesn't change their attack speed or their attack animation, but what it does do is it means that when one Zergling kills another one, it repositions to attack faster. So its next attack will come out more quickly. And there's this thing that happens when Zerglings hit in a straight line is that if you can move faster, then you get to hit sooner, and then it snowballs out of control.
Yeah, and with Zerglings being so brittle, once 1 or 2 are killed, it kind of snowballs, and then you have one side just crushing through here.
Yeah, a big snowball.
Yes. But now we have a turtled up ggaemo over here.
Yeah.
He is now giving up that expansion. He's getting 2 hatch in his main, kind of almost an old school look here. He's got a sunken colony set up in such a position that it's very, very difficult.
Ooh, and that sunken finished just in time.
That was perfect.
That's kind of like if, sorry, go ahead.
No, you go, no.
Oh, I was just going to say, if that sunken is late and a 9-pool with like speed runs into your base, you are in so much trouble. Because this hatchery in your main is super weird. A lot of times you'll expect to see like a 12 hatch in your natural, but this is like getting that larva advantage, but you're not at risk. You don't have to defend it with a lot of lings.
Now, this is kind of a funny switch here because now Modesty's the one with the expansion, and it's going to be 2 hatch in main here for ggaemo. Ggaemo, by the way, this is one of these funny things where, okay, yes, he survived that Ling attack, but also he has a sunken colony that protects his drones, which means counterattacking with a small number of Lings is really not a viable thing.
Yeah, but you know what sunken colonies don't do, and that's mine minerals. So he did sacrifice a drone in order to make that, and he doesn't have this expo. So, ggaemo is on a little bit of a timer here because he's not going to have the income that his opponent will.
Yeah, it's going to be a little bit tricky here. They're both getting their spires at roughly the same time. Of course, if you're both going for spires and someone has an extra gas, we know who's going to have more Mutalisks. So in the long run, let's assume that Modesty takes no damage and does not suffer any kind of harass here.
Yeah.
He should be in better shape. But there's going to be a lot of opportunities here for ggaemo to try to come in here and do some damage. Now, he hasn't taken that second gas just yet. We're still waiting. But remember, guys, in ZVZ, because you can get Lings out so fast, you can attack really quickly. This forces both players to start defending right away and getting their own attacking units as well. And then what happens is you don't have a lot of drones. So losing a worker in ZVZ is a bigger deal than in any other matchup in StarCraft 1 or StarCraft 2. It's just, in this matchup specifically, like let's say 2 or 3 drones are killed, that can usually do it.
Yeah, this is there's this kind of fight match style tournament that AfreecaTV.
Fight match style?
Yeah.
I like that. That's like our alternative in Fight Club.
Well, it's literally
like
called
match.
like the BJ Destruction match. And there was a ZVZ in the grand finals of that. There's this exact setup. Basically, one player goes for the Expo hatch and the other player puts it in the main. And the player without the mining expansion just has to go for it. So that's what we're going to see here. ggaemo is going to get a lot of Lings, and he's going to try to bulldoze this natural expansion. And it either works or it doesn't. And survey says that with as little surface area as there is, these Lings are going to try to get in here to get on this. But
Modesty's handling this so well.
Yeah,
that was
not
just
enough.
so perfect. But hold on, more Lings are coming in.
Yeah, is there enough here? Can this Sunken survive? He actually canceled the...
Oh my God, this is so good.
Yeah, with the Mutas
so
popping out here, there's just no way.
That was perfect. That was absolutely perfectly done. Now these Lings are going to try to get a few drones.
Yep. And that's about it. Like, he's got some Scourge here to try to pick off the Mutas, but I mean, all Modesty has to do is wait at this point.
Okay. Yeah, I mean, this is horrible now for ggaemo. I mean, how do you recover? He's going to try to... that was nice.
Wow, that was...
However...
surprising.
He can make some more mutas. There's already one guy that has more mutas coming out here, and Modesty with a higher muta count and a second gas.
So, it's hard to get saturated on your bases with drones because it's such a low eco matchup. So actually being able to mine from 2 locations won't really matter too much for a while because, you know, there's no mining there. So for all intents and purposes, they both have the same economy right now with the exception of that second gas. And that's what's really going to slingshot Modesty out of that hold.
Gas is everything in a Muta race.
Yeah.
That is the spice. If it was planted, it was in the book Dune, okay?
Okay.
It is, that's the unobtainium.
Yeah.
It's just Vespian gas.
You control the gas, you control the universe.
That's right. And you will rule the ASL.
Yeah. The Vespian gas must flow.
That's
Tasteless.
right. Exactly. That's what Modesty's saying right now.
That's what they say. Well, Modesty is definitely a little bit more prescient than ggaemo is this game. Oh, look at him. He's trying to control against these Scourge, but actually a surprising amount are hitting.
Yeah, that actually might be one too many here. So one basing ggaemo is going to get a Spore up here because he doesn't want to get pinned where counterattacks and kill him. And okay, this actually right now could be the worst thing ever.
Oh.
These mutas are going undetected. There is nothing defending Modesty here. There is absolutely nothing back at home.
Yeah, he could actually just run in here. He's got superior muta count.
He can mow down drones, that much is for sure.
So Modesty's mutas are coming back. He kills a couple of drones here, but his time here is he's on a clock right now. All of these mutas will die, but it's about how much damage they can do before they do.
Yeah, so he's just going to come in here. Looks like he was trying to see if he could get a kill of his own. This is really tricky because on both sides they're having to micro incredibly hard.
Yeah,
drones are being killed here.
I mean, it's Spore versus no Spore, and Spores are just really good against mutas.
Hold on. He's just going to get the Spore. He actually has that many mutas.
Wow.
And this means there's nowhere to hide these. Oh, I didn't see that second Spore.
Yeah, the second Spore is really what's going to kind of be the savior here. But still, there's drones going down on both sides. Nice Scourge. They are connecting, but I think there's too many mutas here for Modesty.
Hold on. Scourge coming out.
Wait, what?
Yeah.
Oh,
I think it says 2 mutas.
Whoa! Okay, so yeah, I think ggaemo is...
Wait, hold on. There's links coming. Oh, wait, there's just some.
Dunzo.
This is so weird. So wait, there's 5 mutas on one side.
Yeah,
ggaemo has 2
one,
mutas. One muta now? Okay,
I think it's 1 or 2, but it's less than 5.
Spore making.
Oh, he's going to kill the Spire here. That's... Or if he turns the Zerglings around.
Yikes, okay.
Some bone-hurting juice right there. And yeah, even more of it poured right on. GG. ggaemo taps out, and Modesty will be our second player to advance on to the round of 16.
All right. Well done. Great game. Man, kind of a crazy ending there.
Wow.
Really hard to call who's going to win that.
And this is why every single mirror matchup just looks so super different, is because ZBZ specifically, it is just on a knife's edge. We did get a chance to see, I think in every single game tonight, really interesting approaches to the matchups, and got a little bit of spice there at the end with the ZBZ, but it still looked really cool.
Man, what a great day. These games are all really good.
Yeah, even though we didn't have any Protoss representation here, we got a
had
chance
tasteless, all right? That's as much Protoss representation as you need.
Yeah, but the games weren't tasteless. They were full flavor.
That's right.
All right.
Tasteless with his bad skill and broken wrists, just bringing it.
Well, you know what's also going to be good is our translation coming up. John the Translator, take it away.
I hope your Korean's good, John, because we're going to need it.
Yeah, if you need me to take over, just let me know.
24강 D조 경기 모두 함께 하셨습니다.
So that's it for Group D. We have our second person to advance.
축하드립니다. 경기 시작 전 인터뷰에서 본인이 말씀하셨던 대로 오늘 그 이변의 주인공이 되셨습니다.
So just like you said in pre-match interview, you said you create upset and you did. How do you feel now?
출에 16강까지 가서 좋고요.
So I'm really glad I made it to round of 16 on my first ASL.
진짜 본선이라고 생각하거든요. 그러니까 이제
But round of 16 is where it really begins.
플레이에 대한 단점을 더 보완해서
So I'll try to
강한 상대들이 있으니까
complement my weaknesses before that.
오늘 아쉬운 경기력이 좀 있어서.
네, 아쉬운 경기력이 있었다라고 또 말씀을 하셨는데 아무래도 박성균 선수와의 경기를 말씀하시는 게 아닌가 하는 생각이 들어요.
So you said there were some disappointments today.
그 다음 경기도
I think it's about your game against Mind.
네, 경기 전에 좀 무슨 생각을 하셨나요?
What were your thoughts before the game?
제가 준비한 대로 그냥 잘해야지 생각했고 경기 내적으로
I just thought that I should do well.
원래 미친 저거를 하는 순간 드랍십에 원래 절대 안 나가는 빌드인데
And the build I used isn't vulnerable to dropships, but I made a lot of mistakes and I eventually lost the game.
이재호 선수의 경기에서는 좀 빠르게 태클을 타면서 이제 3럴커로 뚫기 전략을 보여주셨거든요. 아무래도 좀 장기전을 피하자라는 생각이 있으셨던 것 같아요.
You went for a
제가 약간
shenanigan
테란의
build.
변수를 생각해가지고 약간 선푸를 했는데 그 오버로드 서치 방향이 빗나가면서
So I went spawn pool first,
약간 피해를 줄 수 있는데
but my overload location was very off.
가면 또 그냥 무난히 지겠구나 해가지고 승부를 던졌는데
And I lost the timing, so I felt that I shouldn't play a long game, and I went for a
자신감 있는 모습이 좀 보였던
cheese,
것
and
같아요.
it worked.
저전은 확실히 좀 마음이 편하셨나요?
Were you more comfortable in the mirror match?
제가 지금까지 먹고 살았으니까요. 제가
Yes, I always feel comfortable against Zerg.
저거전이니까 제가 올라갈 수 있다고 생각했어요.
So as long as I make it to winners, I mean final match, I felt I could advance.
취소하는 사실 초반부터 빌드가 많이 김현우 선수의 손을 들어줬는데 그때 16강 진출을 확신을 하셨을 것 같은데요. 어떠셨나요?
네, 그냥 오버로드 갔는데 앞마당이 없는 거 보고 그냥 진짜 이겼다라고 생각했고요.
So about the match, when my overlord went to scout, I saw there was no expansion on the natural, and I felt that it was my win.
16강을 이뤄내셨습니다. 본인이 말씀하셨던 대로 16강부터 시작이라는 마음으로
So like I said,
임하신다고 했는데요.
round of 16 is where we're living in.
한마디
I'm sure
부탁드릴게요.
you'll need a lot of support from the fan. Can you say any words to them?
우선 제가 현역 시절에 이후로 제가 군대 갔다 와서 방송을 잘 안 하다 보니까 사람들이
So after my glory days in the army, I haven't streamed.
그러니까 뭐 약간 제가 게임을 많이 안 하다 보니까
I didn't play much game.
그냥 아마추어보다도 약간
So
못한 선수라는 인식이 좀 많이 강해요.
I felt that some viewers think of me as an amateur,
그 정도는 아닌 것 같은데
but I'm not that bad.
그래서 이번에 증명을 해서
And I think I proved that today.
좋은 경기를 보여주고 방송을
And
제가
hope I continue to do well from round of 16 and on.
그래서 게임을 많이 못 해요. 그래서 컴퓨터 자체도
The reason I don't stream or play game too much is because I have
방송도 많이 하면서
I have illness with my eyes. I mean, my eyes get really tired really easily. But I try to keep my condition well and show you good matches in the broadcast.
자, 이렇게 해서 24강 D조의 두 번째 진출자
Thanks for
김현우
showing
선수와
great
함께했습니다.
translations
in the
that
broadcast.
interview, in the broadcast. John.
I'm sure your
Thank
fans will cheer for you.
I was certainly. All right.
Really cool day of games. Modesty getting revenge for Artosis, taking out ggaemo.
That's right. Say, leave that caster alone.
Well, Modesty and Mine will advance today, and I think that's really impressive for Modesty that he can show up to 2 tournaments and actually have success in both of them, advancing out of the opening round.
Yeah.
And I guess, you know, if he wins this season of ASL, he would be a Royal Roader for ASL because it is the first time he's playing in this tournament.
Yeah, that's true. You know, it's so weird because I really thought Light was going to do better, but I guess not.
Well, you know what's doing great is the balance.
David Kim.
Balancer of all things.
That's right.
David Kim is the original Thanos.
That's right.
All things in perfect balance as they should be.
So, this is what we have so far, but we're not done yet.
Nope.
There are still letters in the alphabet.
We're going all the way to Group Z.
That's right. I mean, how many groups do we need?
2 more.
That many. 2 more.
Yep. This is going to be coming up on Sunday and Tuesday. Same time, same channel, ASL English. And this is the last of the round of 24 matches. So Rain, JYJ, Ware, and Calm, and Solkey, Tyson, I Am Mong, and Bill, our last kind of amateur player. Getting him in there in Group F.
All right. Hell yes. We're always going to be here on Sunday and Tuesday. Write it down in your calendar.
That's right. I'm always going to be here too, just maybe off screen next time. But
by the way,
point is that it's on 5 o'clock.
Yes.
At Tuesday.
So. If you are in the audience, hang on to your tickets.
Yep.
There's a giveaway at the end.
Yep. There's also a giveaway at the end of the season if you are a non-Korean viewer or don't live here in Korea. You can actually make a cheerful on Team Liquid. There's an ASL contest there, and this is lasting until the end of ASL. So make a cheerful. They have a template there for you to do it. I saw a couple of really good ones up there. And then we're giving away, I think, 4 ASL jackets, some mouse pads and blankets and cool stuff. So that's open to you if you are not living here in Korea. And if you are here in the studio, like Tasteless said, keep your tickets. We'll be doing that raffle after.
And in just a few minutes, someone was asking the audience if they can get a fit photo. We're just go down where those trash cans are. I hate to say this, but there's a door with trash cans. And if you really like us that much, you're willing to wait by a bunch of trash cans. You can
so nice.
But
we do really appreciate everybody coming down. It was nice to get a chance to cast with you again, Tasteless.
It's good to cast with you too, man.
It's been a long time.
Fun. Yeah, it's been quite a while. It's going to be back casting as well.
Yeah,
some StarCraft.
It has been a while, and I think that's what's so exciting about ASL is that it is kind of the first StarCraft tournament of the new year.
Right.
The games are so good already, even though this is a round of. I don't know what these guys are saying. Like the real challenge starts in the round of 16. Like these games in the round of 24 have actually been really good. With the exception of Zealot's first game against Mest yesterday. We're going to forget about that one.
Yeah,
Whoa.
Well, that was fantastically bad. Just like those disaster films we were talking about.
The Troll 2 of Build Orders.
Yes, exactly. That was the, that game was horrible.
Yes. But the games
it was
today were
also
good.
a teachable moment, okay? You don't want to come with that kind of strategy in the biggest StarCraft 1 tournament in the world. That's not going to work.
Man, you're just finding the silver lining to all of our cloudy days out here,
yeah,
Tasteless.
I'm just, you got to have a positive
Tasteless's alternate idea is Mr. Positivity
That's
over
right. What I do is before these casts, I go to my vision board.
Okay.
And I, try to see what I'm going to do and how
You
I'm going to show
you
it.
close your eyes and you
That's right.
visualize the success.
That's right.
There
I visualize my perfect GGs coming out.
Wow, you're so woke,
Okay,
Tasteless.
I'm woke. I am woke.
AF even.
AF, my friend.
I'm hip with the kids. That's what they're saying these days.
That's what they're saying, dude.
Okay. Well, we have to finish the Caster Parks humor and variety chat reading show over there.
Yeah, we can't close it. We can't close out yet. So we gotta hang out here and pretend that we had stuff to say.
That's right. It looks like perhaps finally.
Wait for it. That's all the time we have. Thank you for joining us. We will see you next time here at the ASL.
No heartbreaks again. Those bad boys and those scars they leave. But I better late now. You walk by, but you saw something that you liked. Oh, you were armed, and I was charmed, but you were a thief. So raise them up to the sky. This is a heist. This is a heist. So raise them up to the sky. This is a heist. This is a heist. You're only looking for one thing. You wanna steal my heart from me. This is a hold up. Give me all you got. I'm here, honey. Take your shot. I'll be your Bonnie till you Clyde, baby. You got that thing that drives me crazy. But I barely saw you walk in, but you saw something that you need. Oh, you were smooth, and I was too, but you were a thief. So raise them up to the sky. This is a heist. This is a heist. So raise them up to the sky. This is a heist. This is a heist. You're only looking for one thing. You wanna steal my heart from me.